Ain't an age.
And mic's on.
Beautiful.
A fair bit of deja vu for those of us in local football, ladies and gentlemen, as we return from lockdown once again to a crowdless, or sort of crowdless, game of Eastern Football Netball League action. And much like last time, it's a Heathmont Jets fans who win out, because they will be praising our choice of game once again for Eastland Match of the Round, as we're preparing to bring you all the action from their crucial Division 2 clash between the Jets and the South Belgrave Saints. But before we jump back into the thick of it, it's time for the pre-game show. I'm Matthew Fody, and joining me this afternoon are Wayne Brasher and Matt Lee. Brash, Spider, how have you enjoyed your 3 weeks off? Obviously the Olympics and so on has kept you entertained, no doubt.
Yeah, afternoon, boys.
Yeah, it has, a little bit. Still, nothing beats our local footy, mate.
Absolutely, and we were having a discussion off air, Lee and Bruce and myself, which Olympic event do you think you could compete in? Which, not right now, but which Olympic event out of all of them do you reckon you could give a red hot go?
Okay.
The athletics, you still love the running. Yeah, I was a runner back in my day.
What was your prime distance?
I love running the 800 and the 1500. Yeah, I was a long distance runner.
Yes. Well, they don't count that as long distance in the Olympics.
Well, I could maybe be the Haile Gebrselassie back in the day, the famous Ethiopian runner. He's terrific. Saw him at the 2000 Sydney Olympics. Yeah. What a legend.
Brash, what about you? Field, swimming?
No, mate. We'll go with the strength. We'll go with the big D.
Weightlifting, you reckon? There you go.
I love the weight, mate. It's one of the pleasures I like about watching the Olympic Games is these guys lifting massive weights.
Yeah.
The Turks are really good at, and so are the Russians. And
yeah.
They can lift. Put it this way, they lift weights that I can only dream of.
I've heard of those weights. I've never touched them. No, it's been fantastic watching all those Olympics. It's got us through a fair bit, and we're getting a few gold medals and so on. But anyway, we're back, as you said, we're back to the local footy, and there's a fair bit to talk about in terms of fixturing, because I think all people were sort of shocked that community sport was straight back. I think everyone assumed there would be the obligatory 1 week to make sure that there's not another shitstorm before we go back into it. But no, the government said, no, you can get straight back into footy. And that's sort of thrown a curveball. So only 3 senior divisions are playing today. So every form of Eastern Football Netball League sport will play this weekend. The netball started again last night. The juniors will kick off once again tomorrow. So only Premier and Div 1 have voted for an extra week to get run back in the legs. It's funny, they said, a couple of clubs have said we can't play off 1 week of training, but they're all doing match sim today. So I'm not sure how that works personally. But what's your thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Look, I reckon it's the old adage, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, Matt, because I'm like you. I thought initially we'd lose the 3 matches, but I reckon if the government probably had have announced it a few days earlier coming out of lockdown, we might have got the Premier in.
Yeah, if they had Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, we might have got those too, but look, I guess I'm just happy to be quite honest. To me, it's great to see the guys in Division 2, 3 and 4 committed to come back out, even of a short break. I'm sure, Spider, they would have done some running within their own local precinct. They wouldn't have been doing nothing.
Well, you would have to, and I must say I was out doing a fair bit of walking just during the lockdown period.
We're doing your 800 and 1500 metres.
No, I was doing my regular daily walks, and I was seeing a lot of people, again, footballers from a range of clubs doing their work, running through various parks and reserves and running tracks. So it's a complimentary to those guys that are doing the work, and you certainly you get acknowledged about that out on the field later this afternoon, because we'll know who's done the work and really who hasn't. And I think that's accustomed to what the ladder suggests in across all divisions.
What does Stewie Wine do with his playing group, mate? Did you know?
I know that the players got their own programs that they've been undertaking, and there was a number of those players that I did see, in various locations, doing their running and doing their respective, goal kicking and just their hand-eye coordination sort of things. So,
did he order skin folds, mate?
I don't know if he did that. I don't think he went to the extremes of some of the alleged clubs on one radio station with a rumour file, but no, there was.
Which local clubs are doing skin folds?
No, I was saying it in jest.
Yeah, I know that. Then Spider said that he's heard allegations of skin fold testing.
I was saying there was apparently one local club in another another competition that was
name and shame then.
under investigation for potentially training under a lockdown situation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I've seen that.
So,
I've seen that.
Of course, our competition, we wouldn't do that.
No, absolutely
not. But it's good to see our clubs and players, still doing the work during that period of time off, running the running tracks and doing various programs. I think it's been good, and we'll see them all back out in action. Premier and Division 1, look, we're damned if we do, as we just said, but I think in terms of some of the VFL players coming back into the competition that need that extra simulation and also that extra little run in the legs, I think it's not a bad thing. So we get back into it next week and we'll get to complete the competition.
Absolutely. So speaking of completing the competition, we've got the remaining rounds. So we'll work our way up. So Division 4, so they're going to remain a top 4 knockout. Their grand final is sort of, nothing's locked in because you can't really lock in anything these days, but it's tentatively locked in for September 4, the grand final for Division 4. They're going to be playing round 15 today, then round 7, which was the initial round that was lost ages ago, round 13 and round 14 in Division 4, and then there'll be a top 4 knockout finals. Division 3 has the most home and away rounds remaining. They've got 5, including today, so 16, 17, 18, 14 and 15, those rounds. The latter will be match ratio because with the bye, some sides have missed their buys, some sides, have had both, so there's going to be uneven games played, so match ratio will be the latter. For those who are wondering what match ratio is, that's if you've played 10 games and you've won 7, you're not on 28 points, you're on 70%, and that's top 4 knockout, and that grand final is looking at being the second week of September, the 11th or the 12th. Division 2 will finish first. They've only got 3 rounds left, 16, 14 and 15, top 4 knockout finals, and the grand final is looking at August 28th, and then Division 1, they've got 17, 18, 8 and 9, which means you'll be playing the same 2 teams twice in a row, which is quite a weird month. Knockout for top 4, and their grand final will be probably the Saturday of that second week of September. And then we're finishing with the Premier Division, so they start next week. They're going round 7, round 8 now. If there's any more cancellation rounds, it'll be rounds are just gone, but in Premier Division, round 7 and round 8 will be the last to be cancelled because they're the last 2 that make sure everyone plays everyone, and then it'll be round 13 and 14. Match ratio ladder for them, much like Division 3 with the bye. They've voted for top 6 finals, the clubs, so that'll see 3rd playing 6th, 4th playing 5th. Then first playing the winner of 4th and 5th, second playing the winner of 3rd and 6th, and then the grand final on September 18. So
they wanted that double chance.
Yeah, well, clearly, I wasn't in the meeting. I'm not high enough to be out there. I can only assume that Blackburn and Berwick and clubs like that, and maybe South Croydon after they were wobbling in 5th, were pushing for that, not double chance like you say, Brush, I guess, but yeah, that extra teams making the finals. It's a weird one though because the home and away clubs now they're not playing this week. The Premier Division clubs not playing this week. They've obviously got a bye in their fixture, and they're going to get the extra week of finals, which means you lose a home and away game, and then first and second will get a week off. So they're losing 3 weeks compared to the other divisions. So it's an interesting point of view.
But are we in fear of, for the sake of the argument, obviously we're going to be in contingency mode now for probably the rest of the season because it could be a race to the finish, the way things are going. If we lose another 3 rounds like we've just done recently, could that throw the season into chaos, in fact, whether we have a final series or not? I think
the agreement, so I think every club wanted to play finals at the expense of home and away grounds. So in theory, if you were to lose 3 rounds in Division 2, you would just go straight into finals.
Yeah, okay.
So the theory is
in theory, but
if Brisbane have gone into a snap lockdown today, so just for an example, we went to snap lockdown over the next week,
missed 1 week.
And missed 1 week, how would that play out?
That round's gone. Yeah. That round's gone. We don't try to make it up.
So technically,
and then the only difference is in Premier Division, the round that they will play round 7 and 8 regardless. That'll be they'll try to play them. In the other rounds, it just matters whatever round it is, that's gone.
So technically, we're in a scenario there. We lose basically around a week off.
Yeah,
we are.
Because I think in all divisions, so that I've actually got it somewhere here on my laptop. But in terms of rounds missed, we've done pretty well to only miss, I think, maybe a round or 2 in each division.
Yep.
But what it does mean now is like if every club said they want to play finals, so it sort of gets to the point now where it's like, okay, if we all want to play finals, then we're going to just have to go, you know what, we're just going to lose games and we can't keep making them up. And I think everyone's aware that, there might be some unevenness in the fixture, but you just got to cop it.
Well, what's the latest we can play in terms of, let's say, a Premier Grand Final? So let's hypothesise a little bit. Could we see potentially a Grand Final, AFL Grand Final Eve, being a public holiday? If the state government said we're having a public holiday like it's intended to, would we consider as a competition to say, okay, that's a public holiday, a Friday, and a good opportunity to play, maybe back-to-back Grand Finals of Premier and Division 1?
The AFL out east would be pretty annoyed at us, given that's their baby. But I think in theory it's there, but we don't want to. We don't want to. I think ideally you don't want to push the dates too far back because clubs, as you know, Spider being involved in both the cricket and the footy club and Brash being involved in both circles, there's a lot of handover. Councils are under pressure from both sides to, for example, here at Heathmont today, a beautiful facility. I'm sure the cricket club wouldn't want the footy club training on it a bit longer because we keep pushing back. But I think there's scope to do it if need be, but you want to avoid it. I think we just want to get to the finish line, much like the AFL today.
I reckon there could be a compromise, and I reckon if I was to compromise between cricket and football, first week of October would be my last port of call.
Well, it always rains, Brushes. We know the first week of October we're all usually standing around. As you know, you've got your woolen vest on, Matty.
Well, that's my birthday, and it's my girlfriend's birthday as well, and I'm sure she'd be pretty annoyed if cricket got cancelled, but then I had to work. So double-edged sword there. But
Sorry,
I think there is I think there's scope for it, Spider, to answer your question, but we try to avoid it. I think it's just. Because as much as I think footy fans would all love to see it, I'm sure the players would love to see it, but there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes from mostly volunteers that might, there might be a level of exhaustion with all the work that clubs are having to do to keep, Heathmont are obviously going very well on and off the field, but there are other clubs that, might be struggling to make ends meet that might go, for the sake of, someone winning a flag that you could argue isn't the same as other flags, do we really need to do it? But that's where it sits. I'm sure that if push came to shove, we'd try and do it. Yeah, absolutely. But that's where we sit at the moment. That a top six is going to be interesting. Obviously, Blackburn, that then brings them back into the fold, Brash, after they lost to Vermont were too far out. But it also brings clubs like Berwick, everyone into the finals fold because Blackburn are only 2 wins ahead of the bottom side.
No, and the thing is, the sides at the bottom rungs of the ladder, Matty, in Premier have found some form in recent stages, and it's going to, basically, I think it's going to set it up for a grandstand finish, I reckon.
It is, and everyone's being really competitive, and I think that's been a good thing about the Premier competition, particularly in the last 6 to 8 weeks. We're seeing the results fluctuate from week to week. We're seeing some form lines starting to evolve, and some sides to be really challenged and having to really work hard to get those wins. We've seen a couple of real upsets. We didn't expect that North Ringwood were going to bowl over Blackburn on their home ground.
Speaking of their one side, I haven't mentioned that they're now only a game out of the top 6. Now, it might be a bit of maybe out of their reach to actually make finals, but North Ringwood, the way they're going,
Well, put it this way,
if they made finals, I'd be happy with the top 6. That'd be nice.
Yeah, look, I think anything's possible, really. I think really, I personally think Vermont, Noble Park and Balwyn, for mine, are the 3 locks.
They are. Yeah, they're the 3 best teams in the competition.
4th to 6th, I reckon, still open.
It's open, but I think the way you're looking at, for example, I think Norwood have got Rowville, Balwyn, Vermont and Blackburn. So they've obviously got 3 tough games, but if they win that Blackburn game, they're safe because you're assuming they win the Rowville game, and then South Croydon have got North Ringwood twice, so I think they should be fine.
That could get them potentially up to a 3rd spot.
Yeah, but 3rd to 6th doesn't matter. Although I think the finals, the first week of finals, that Premier Division finals will be played as if they're home and away games. So it'll be a final. But, for example, if South Croydon are 3rd and Blackburn finish 6th, it'll be at Cheong.
Yeah, you still want to just because there's a home ground situation.
Because there's only so many venues to host finals at the moment. But, so that's sort of... I think South Croydon are maybe vulnerable, but they should win at least 2 of their last month. I think Norwood should be safe, so I think it's just one. Personally, I think there's only one spot up for grabs.
Now, do Norwood play Vermont between now and the end of the season?
Yeah, so they've got... I think Rowville next week, is it? No, they've definitely got Rowville, Balwyn, Blackburn and Vermont left. or it might be Doncaster East. They've definitely got Blackburn and Vermont there. Those 2 rounds they missed back in the first snap lockdown, which means they'll be the first 2 they play. So the next fortnight's going to be big for Norwood.
Well, I think that Vermont haven't played Berwick yet.
No, so they'll be playing as well. So that's the thing. So basically the first 2 games that will be played in Premier Division will be the ones to make sure everyone's played everyone.
Yep.
And then if we've got a couple extra weeks up our sleeve, which hopefully we will, we'll just get them out we'll play those games. But there's those 2 rounds where to make sure everyone's played everyone are the priority there, which means it will be Norwood. I think Norwood will have to play Blackburn and Vermont first. Vermont will definitely have to play Berwick there as well. I'm trying to think the other games that people haven't played. Obviously South Croydon haven't played North Ringwood then. Doncaster East and Rowville. So there's some interesting clashes in that division. Division 1, it looks like then the top 4's pretty much sewn up. I think Montrose is still mathematical, but I think they've got to play Mooroolbark twice in their last month. So if they win both of them, they're a sneaky chance to get in. But the way the fixture's shaping up there, I don't think anyone's going to jump in.
Yeah, and the form line's very patchy on Montrose's behalf. They were very flaky.
Well, they're very good at home. They're very good at home, which means that they're going to have to win all 4 of their last month, and I think their other games are East Ringwood. So it's a tough run home.
And I had a look at East Ringwood on that Sunday game against Bayswater, and they were pretty. Look, I think if you asked Benny Osborne, would you take a 60-point victory? You would at the start of the game, but I actually reckon, and nothing against Bayswater, but I reckon East Ringwood left 5 or 6 goals on the ground on the game.
Yeah, well, that's been their issue all year, probably kicking for goal. Or forward entry and ball movement. Yeah,
I'm saying the score. I reckon
flattered Bayswater.
Perhaps put the cue in the rack, so to speak, Brush.
Yeah, I reckon they did. Yeah. I reckon they left 6 goals behind. But kudos to Bayswater. They didn't lie down. And the young bloke Ben White, he had a sensational game. I thought he played extremely well. But they had their patches. Their Bayswater, and they got on a bit of a run. But I think that's just seems to they just don't have the key.
Their midfield's very good, Bayswater, but they're struggling at either end of the ground. So yeah, we think Division 1 that looks like that's locked up. So
I reckon.
Division 2 again, Bryony are the only chance to squeeze in, and we'll talk about this more when we get to their division in closer detail later on in this pre-game show. But they've got today's a big one for them. If Heathmont win, that means they'll be on level points with South Belgrave at the end of the day, assuming they beat Belgrave, and it'll come down to a race to the finish in terms of percentage. I think South Belgrave, they've got 2 very winnable games after today, so they should be safe for South Belgrave, given their percentage is the best in the division.
Yeah, look, and I think, this is when we talk about this game, I'll leave it for later, but this is probably a good fixture to come back to, I reckon.
Absolutely.
It's a good 50-50 game. I was just talking to Andrew Gibson at the back before we went on air, and very upbeat about today, but also very cautious and wary of what they're up against.
No, it's an interesting one. South Barrow, one of those teams where on their day can probably take apart anyone.
And I think too, Matt, when we came back from the first break, we were actually surprised by the skill factor throughout the day. It wasn't like 100%, but it was pretty good for considering guys hadn't had a kick the football in anger for a month.
Agree.
So we'll probably get the same thing today.
Well, and the conditions, barring the wind, are pretty perfect out here. Division 3 at the moment, Spider, that's probably the most interesting race home.
It's a bit of musical chairs, I think.
We will go... There's a bit more detail to go into that again later in the pre-game show, but just quickly off the top, I think Warrandyte are safe, and then there's 5 other teams trying to fit into 3 spots, and the match ratio is going to make it very, very interesting, because Waverley Blues have probably had the luck of the draw by continually playing games, and they've banked a lot of wins.
They have, so they're certainly doing their part. East Burwood's got to do their part. They've still got to play Fair Park and Scoresby twice, so that's going to be interesting to see whether
And for East Burwood, they've got to be. They've on paper, mate, they're winnable games.
Yeah.
So I think East Burwood's got a tough run. I've got more detail about their run home later on, but they've got quite a tough run, so they're going to have to win a couple of tough games to squeeze into the 4. And like I said, we will have more of a run at there. And then Division 4. Sylvan, and we'll go into this later on, Sylvan are technically still a chance. I've got a way of them squeezing in Brash, but at the moment their top 4 looks run and done.
It's not as complicated as St Kilda making
Put it this way,
Or Carlton.
I think Forest Hill might put them out of their misery today.
Well, hopefully for their sake. And just quickly before we go to our first break, a couple of coaching re-signings. Justin Santon has re-signed at the Basin, so he's been doing good stuff there. 5 years, I think it will be when he starts next year, and at the moment they're going very, very well. And Neil Winston is going to hang up the boots at the end of the year, and he's signed on for 1 extra year as a non-playing coach in 2022 at Mitcham. It'll be interesting to see how Neil goes coaching from the coach's box for the first time.
Yeah, well, put it this way, he's pretty astute on the field. I'm sure he'll make the transition pretty seamless.
Yeah, he's a good operator, isn't he, Brash? I've been really impressed with Neil since he's come into the competition.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's been a great asset, but particularly for the Mitcham Footy Club in more recent times. And getting that premiership for him a couple of years ago was a great reward for him.
He's got 2 flags under his belt at the Tigers. We're going to go to our first break here on the pre-game show, and after that we're going to jump into all the Division 2 action, including a pretty good preview of this one between Heathmont and South Belgrave.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner. Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruck.
You're all clear for 3.5, guys.
Breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or for some people, show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $255 a year on water and energy bills. Save the performance for the stage. Shower shorter. Save water.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding.
That's right.
At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Eastland, we believe one day isn't enough to celebrate all that our beautiful mums do. That's why we're celebrating Happy Mother's Days, the festival of love she deserves. From dining to fashion, homewares or a pampering session, Eastland has all your favourite brands ready to spoil mum. And if you need inspiration, check out our online gift guides. Spend $250 and you'll go in the running to win a $50 Eastland gift card till May 8th. T's and C's apply. Find out more at eastland.com.au. Eastland, live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department.
Okay, guys, 30 seconds, microphone's on.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. You beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Mike's on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back at local football. Once again, we're going to try for a third time this year to get to the finish line.
Yes.
And we're here today at H.E. Parker Reserve for Heathmont and South Belgrave. It'll be second versus fourth in Division 2. And it's an interesting division, this one, Brash and Spider. Heathmont started the year 0-2, and then they've won 8 of their last 9 games, and now they're second on the ladder with percentage. They're a young side. We've seen their only loss since round 2. Out at Jubilee Park. They've got plenty of youth and attacking weapons. I really like Heathmont. They've been around this mark, though, for a few years, though, Brash. They always seem to be young.
They do, and the thing is with Heathmont, I think they've been a bit of a slow burn, Matt. I reckon they've been building up to this with the fact that they're constantly reintroducing younger players into the mix. So those second year and third year guys that they've got in now are starting to mature a little bit, and the fact that they're getting those younger guys together, that really does build a camaraderie that can, if you get the success, can start a dynasty, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yeah, development as well. I think that's been a real big thing about their junior club, being able to produce those kids coming through the ranks and not holding on to them and not losing them to other clubs like they used to do, back over a decade ago, where they'd lose them to Mitcham or to Vermont or Wanturna South or those sort of clubs. But now, they've got the infrastructure in place to do it, and good luck to them.
Absolutely, it's it. And like you said, Brash, they've got all the building blocks in place to build a dynasty. They've probably just got to make sure they keep the same group together. But the way they're going, they shouldn't have any worries about people leaving.
You always still though want to have those 4 to 5 senior guys around the club, right, that have had very good work ethic and still be leaders on the field to
I lost obviously English in recent years. Abruzzi is not playing this year. There's been a couple, but then Jake Sheriff's returned. I guess you're right. That's probably the one thing they're missing compared to a Ringwood. But then off field, we're sitting in this new pavilion, and it's fantastic, and the ground itself.
Is this the first time we've called here?
First time we've definitely called from this new pavilion. It's only gone up this year.
I'll tell you what, this is one of the best prime positions, I reckon, in the competition now to call football. You got a great overall view of the ground.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
It's a great ground.
And it's a really good ground. And the other thing is too, what makes my heart is to see the netball stadium over there full of young people playing sport again.
And it would have been full last night with Eastern Football Netball League netballers.
Community hub. That's what it's about.
So this is probably one of these sporting hubs, like you said, Spider, in this part of
almost the state, I guess, Brash. There's not many like it.
This part of the eastern suburbs.
No, you have a look at the cricket nets. Cricket nets are in fantastic nick. The ground itself is well looked after. I mean,
well, you got the tennis club down there, obviously, where this is an audio medium, sort of. So when the game does kick off, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, behind the goals at the far end to the right is the tennis courts. On your way down, as you're driving down H.E. Parker, there's the bowls club turn off. You've got the second ground out the back. Brash has already mentioned the netball club. It is quite the complex out here, so they're in a good position, Heathmont.
It's almost comparable to what us doing finals at Bayswater, isn't it?
Sort of. There's almost more to it than Bayswater.
Yeah, you've got more clear view, more wide of sight.
Well, I can remember playing junior footy here, and it's a long time ago.
I was going to say, Spider, when was that?
And that was in the early 90s, and this ground would be an absolute mud pit. The ground, it'd just have water running off it. And you could just tell that the infrastructure then wasn't in place, but the transformation is amazing.
All I can remember ever playing at this ground that I just came off in mud.
Yeah.
I didn't get muddy playing footy. South Belgrave, speaking of sides with upgraded complexes, South Belgrave has been upgraded in recent years from up the mountain there. They're number one ranked offence in the comp with 914 points. They've got Tim Smith down there who's obviously been key to their chances this year. When he's played, they've looked almost unassailable. He's missed a few games through suspension and injury. And then Damien Garner, the ex-Roville man, Lee Odermatt, as we know, and Sam Brown's been kicking some goals as well. And interesting for them is this game's massive for them. I think they've got Mulgrave and maybe Templestowe to come, or Knox. They've got 2 winnable games to finish off the top of my head. So they sit 1 game clear of Baronia, who play Mulgrave today. So if Heathmont were to win and Baronia were to beat Mulgrave, those 2 sides would draw level. And then if Baronia were to beat Ringwood, they're in the running. So it's a massive game for South Belgrave. Win this and they should be fine. Lose and they're back in a bit of jeopardy.
Yeah, and the thing is with South Belgrave, look, this is probably where Heathmont are probably a year or 2 behind South Belgrave. But South Belgrave have been one of those sides, Matt, that probably never bottom out since Luke Elliott has taken over the coaching.
Yeah, well, they sort of did, and now they're back on the way up. But I think this is different to their last foray up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
They've never been this good.
No, they haven't. And the thing is, their form this season has been good as well. I mean, look, they had that little patch there, I think, between rounds 3 and 5 where they went a bit pear-shaped.
And I think they played Baronia, who beat them by a goal.
Yeah.
Ringwood beat them by a goal.
It wasn't like it was those sort of, you look at it and it's 3 losses, but you think, oh, cheapers.
And the Basin beat them by a point.
Yeah, and they reviewed them hard. I mean, Luke Elliott admitted on the Sunday program with us that he really looked and analysed, and even speaking with Andrew Gibson earlier before we came on air today, he was even suggesting that they did look at it. They looked thoroughly about what they had to do, and they're going into today's game with absolute respect for the way that Heathmont have been going about their work. So they know it's a big game for them. They're looking at this as an 8-point game.
What did they come up with on that show, Spider, or did they not let you behind the curtain?
Didn't quite let me behind the curtain.
Didn't give you a long enough run at it?
No.
What actually sort of surprised me was when Luke turned around and said, I was concentrating on what I had and what I did, and when I should have been counting on what I didn't have. Or you know what I mean?
That's what he said.
He actually made the fact that he'd lost, even him and the match committee had lost sight of.
Yeah, they're probably too worried about their opposition.
Yes, and not giving the feedback that they probably needed to the players.
I think that probably happens though when you were such a dominant side that. In the year before, it was just, if we play our best footy, we're fine. Then you probably come up, realise now we're at a much higher level that we have to worry about our opponents, and they've overcorrected and gone too far the other way.
Well, the thing is this, I think this is really, to me, this division, this is the division that really starts preparing you. I think Division 2 is the division that prepares you to go up to these next, because it is a step up after this. I
reckon the top 5 in this division would not get relegated from Division 2. They'd be fine.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a couple of this. Well, Ringwood played 3 pre-season, albeit games, against. I think they beat East Ringwood, who only Park Orchards have managed to do this year.
Yeah.
And then they also beat Bayswater and Upper Gully by 80 points. So I think the top 4 or 5 in this division would be pushing for finals in Division 1. So you're right, Brush. If you can get out of this division, you're probably well set.
But the other thing is too, with that being said, Matt, you go up. As you go up the level, it means you've got to start attracting better quality footballers as well to your club to help you maintain that.
You've got to have a better system, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Other games in this division.
Money.
Other games in this division. Knox host Ringwood. You'd assume Ringwood would get the points there, but Knox have been playing better in that little period we had between lockdowns. I think they won a couple of games. They jumped up to 6th on the ladder, so maybe Brendan Whitecross's message is starting to sink in. Templestowe hosts the base, and Craig DeCourcy done and dusted. This will be his last year with the Dockers. Mutual decision. I think they sort of came to the end of the rainbow with Craig, and he probably didn't have maybe not the will, but sort of the energy to rebuild. And it's quite a hard rebuild for Templestowe, given the area they're in. It's not a plethora of juniors coming through.
No, and he hasn't had much. I think the other thing that's probably cruelled Craig is the fact that Templestowe over the last 2 to 3 seasons have been hit massively with injuries as well,
and departures in state.
And the thing is, it's unfortunate for Craig because he's a very shrewd operator. He's a very good footballer.
Do you think he'll pop up somewhere else?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he's certainly a person, and a club would definitely look at taking a risk with him and getting him in because put him in a better system, then he can be a lot better coach.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Craig DeCourcy. And then Mulgrave host Baronia, as we mentioned. Baronia going out to the Chateau, Brash, one of your favourite grounds.
Yeah, out escaping the country.
Yeah, exactly. They need a big win out there, the Hawks.
When I was doing my selections for this week's games, I sort of I sort of went with the devil on you and not the devil I don't, because I just went on the exposed form of all the sides prior to restarting again, and they sort of pick themselves out a little bit, but that's because you're trying to go on established form.
Well, run us through your tips then.
Well, I went Ringwood, I went Baronia, I went the Basin.
Yeah,
and then today?
I'm going for the home side.
Yeah, today's obviously the big one, the 50-50 one. Spider, you've got to agree with 3 of those tips. What about today's game?
I think here I think South Belgrave, just bigger bodies. They'll just get over the line.
I'm leaning with you, Spider. I've got something in me says South Belgrave looks like they've got a very strong side.
Yeah, I just think a little bit of forward potency, a little bit more experience over a young and up-and-coming Heathmont side. Think they'll do enough to get over the line.
And it's a ground that Otis has fond memories of.
Yeah.
Well,
and he always plays well here too.
Is there a ground he doesn't know? He's the player's version of Brett Davidson, isn't he?
Did he give his little statue a little bit of a clean on the way through in the car park?
Anyway,
he's a good man.
Let's move on out of Division 2 into Division 4. We'll leave Division 3 to last because I don't think 7 minutes is enough for Spider. Forest Hill and Sylvan's the main game in that one. As I said, now let me work my magic here and show you, Brash, how Sylvan can still make the finals.
Okay, tell me.
So, Forest Hill are currently second. They're likely to finish third because they have to play Coldstream twice.
Okay.
And Surrey Park shouldn't lose another game for the year. They've got Nunawading twice, and I think unless they lose to Churnside, they should be fine.
Okay.
Sylvan now. So Forest Hill hosts Sylvan today.
Yep.
If Sylvan can win every game, and they should. If they win today, they've got Croydon North twice and Kilsyth. So if they win today at Forest Hill, they should finish the year with a perfect month. Their percentage at the moment is the exact same as Churnside Park's.
Okay.
Churnside have Coldstream, Nunawading, Surrey Park and Nunawading. So you'd expect Churnside to finish on 8 wins, with 2 wins in this last month. If Sylvan can pull off the perfect month, they should go. It'll come down to percentage between the two.
Okay.
So if they can beat Forest Hill today, the race is on.
Yeah.
If they lose today, they're done. Now, having said that, I find it very hard to convince myself that Sylvan will win today. But if they can pull it off, Brash, they're still in with a chance. They'll then have to play Coldstream in the first final, and it probably will be futile, but nonetheless.
Well, I think as long as the carrot's still dangling there, and the fact that they probably sat down, and I don't know whether they've gone into it as great depths as like you have to analyse their finals opportunity, but if they do know that they've still got a finals chance, they'll come out and give it their all. But
because Forest Hill, we saw them at Surrey Park. They weren't that good.
The form's been patchy, hasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, they sort of were very dominant up until the first lockdown. The middle period, they won the games they were expected to win, but not convincingly. That Churnside almost knocked them off at home. Surrey Park dismantled them. So I think they're gettable.
I think the biggest problem here is the fact that when we're talking about Division 4, we're talking each side against Coldstream as the yardstick.
Yeah.
I think Surrey Park can match them, but it's just the periods of time, and it'll be one of those ones. The only way they can do it is if on the grand final day, Surrey Park. I think they're the only chance, and I think it's just gonna be one of those games where they're on their game for 4 quarters. Like they cannot put a foot wrong, because I think at half time in Coldstream Surrey Park before lockdown, there was, it was almost a point of difference. It was quite close, and then Surrey Park just didn't come out after half time. So I think they've got it within them. It's just doing it for those 4 quarters.
And I think the one thing that characterises Chad Rogers' sides is the fact that they are tough and hardened footballers. That's the way
he was.
He was, and have a look at the sides. I mean, he took Upper Gully to a
undefeated season.
Undefeated season. And you have a look at the way that they played throughout the finals. It was tough, uncompromising football, and that's exactly what he's done at Coldstream. So much so that really, the only team that can beat Coldstream is themselves. That comes down to the mental side of it.
Yeah, that can happen though.
It can happen.
You can get ahead of yourself, and it takes one bad day, and it's all over.
Yep.
Multiple lockdowns too, Spider, can sometimes take a hit. Well, I'm sure people know that it can take a hit on your mental fragility. So, it's interesting. So there you go. I've shown the maths for the Sylvan fans. Hopefully they're all listening in their cars and they can yell out to the players doing warm-up at the moment that this is how you can make finals. Having said that, I'm going to tip Forest Hill today.
Yeah, I had to tip Forest Hill.
Forest Hill at home.
Yeah.
Coldstream hosts Churnside Park. I think this one's more. We expect Coldstream to win, but it'll be interesting to see where Churnside Park's at. If they can get it under 10 goals, then that's a pretty good sign for the Panthers.
I think the Cougars will. It is the Cougars, isn't it?
Cougars playing the Panthers, yeah.
Yeah, look, I think Chirnside, based on their recent form, I reckon they'll be competitive for maybe 2.5 quarters, Spider. But I think that I just think that they're going to be overwhelmed in the end.
Yeah, I think
60 points.
Bit too strong. I think a little bit closer. I think about 5 to 6 goals. I think Chirnside might be a little bit more competitive than that.
There you go. And then Croydon North host Kilsyth. Is this a smoky one for Croydon North to get another win, or Kilsyth should get the job done?
Kilsyth don't win out of turn, and they've proven this year that on their day when the conditions are right, they can beat a side and beat them convincingly. And I think here's another chance for Kilsyth to put another win on the win plus side.
Kilsyth for me.
Yep.
And then the final one is Nuttawading and Surrey Park. Surrey Park should win that one handily. And they've probably had the easiest draw. I think they'll get another big win, and they should jump into second place come the end of the season. Such is their run home.
Yeah, look, and I think, like you said, Matt, if you look at Surrey Park's draw, they should win every game as well and stay second. And, if the stars are aligned and everything falls right, you're right, we'll probably see Coldstream, Surrey Park.
And we've seen it on Division 4 Grand Final days, haven't we? That teams can sometimes falter. Spider, I assume you're going with Surrey Park as well?
Comfortably.
Yep.
All right. Time for our second break here on the pre-game show. And on our return, we'll talk about Division 3 and the big clash between East Burwood and Warrandyte.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral?
Okay, guys, 3 more minutes and we'll be back.
At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Radio's #1 motorsport show is back for 2021. The Driver's Seat with Matt McKeldin and Stephen Johnson, covering everything from Formula 1 to V8 supercars.
Jack Smith from Brad Jones Racing joined us for an honest chat about his season so far.
My teammates have had results and everything's going good, so if I could tell you exactly what it was that I needed to go better, I'd be very, very happy.
That's this week on The Driver's Seat.
Join Caroline Wilson and Corey Perkin for their weekly podcast, Don't Shoot the Messenger, filled with their insights into the latest news and a little sport, good local tips and plenty of recommendations on what they're reading, watching and whipping up in the kitchen.
Events of the past month have revealed a toxic work culture, a government that has tried to bury an alleged rape. These matters are not crusades by feminists, they're matters for the government. They affect all Australians.
I have, as you know, very unusually bad calves for boots. I can't fit into most boots. Well, I'm lying on the bed with my leg in the air so that, all the blood rushes out of my feet.
The ABC's decision to move the Q&A program to a Thursday night.
To borrow a line from a certain TV show, bad call, destructive call, ridiculous.
Okay, guys, 60 seconds.
The Messenger podcast on the SEN app or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca.
30 seconds.
Yes! Straight into his pie hole. You beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Let's head back and go local for your footy.
The footy gods have treated us, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolutely beautiful day out here at HE, the HE Butter Sporting Complex. We went through it all before in the second part of the show, how many sporting clubs have got connected to this fine reserve, but today we're worried just about one. That's the footy, and it's Heathmont taking on South Belgrave. But before we call all of that action, we're going to run through our last division of today's action. Of course, Premier and Division 1 not playing today, opting for the extra week to get some run into the legs. But the Division 2, 3, 4 Warriors, the Saturday Heroes, Brash and Spider, have decided to continue on. And Division 3, the big 1-2 clashes out at East Build. It's the Rams taking on Warrandyte, and Davis Harrigan's out there for us, so we'll have updates throughout the day.
On you, Davis.
We saw these two sides when they last played together, or played against each other, sorry. East Build, I thought they were outclassed by Warrandyte, to be honest. Spider, Warrandyte's inaccuracy in the first half meant that they were still in with the sniff at three-quarter time, but basically outside of the first quarter, Warrandyte dominated most of the game.
Well, actually, disagree a little bit. I thought after half-time when Warrandyte got that back run of 3 consecutive goals just after half-time to get back in front, that's when they had the ultimate control of the game and basically set the win up for them. Yes, they did kick in Accra and could have found themselves further in front, but I actually thought Eastfield worked their way back into that contest late in the third quarter, but just in the last quarter, in the end, Warrandyte did enough to hold on and get out the margin to a 3-goal win in the end. But I actually think today is going to be a real arm wrestle because of the conditions out at Eastfield. It's not an easy ground to play when in blustery conditions. You've got to play real good defensive, tight-knit footy.
And if it's windy anywhere, it's windy at Eastfield.
And you've got to take your chances when kicking with that wind because that can really be the big determining factor with the game. So I think it's going to come down a lot to yes, midfield battle, but also defensive structure and being able to take your moments when they come and big opportunity. So Warrandyte, yes, they've got a big player in Phillips. We know his qualities. So big job for the Eastfield back six today. You'd think once again Rixton playing up against Phillips again, did a really good job last time.
They sort of do you reckon they'll go with the system they went with last time?
I think they will, yes. They will get an interceptor in as well.
So do you think Warrandyte will immediately go to that lowering the eyes style that they brought in the second half, where Rixton and I think Wills did a lot of stuff rolling off? They stopped kicking to Phillips. He actually played up the ground in the end, and it took a while for Eastfield to adapt to the new targets of Dunn and Cullum and so on.
Yeah, but I think on the big ground, that can also pose a little bit of a problem because if you turn the ball over and you don't lower those eyes, you really make yourself vulnerable straight through that middle corridor of the ground. And Eastfield like to go out wide on the Eastfield. They know how to play it. They play it smart, bring it back in through that corridor, through its half forward, and then they've got those multiple options down forward. So it's a big opportunity for them. And if a guy like, let's say, if Middleton can get down there as well, and players of that calibre, makes it a real big job for the Warrandyte defence to get their numbers back as well.
Fair enough.
They do have height. They have height, Eastfield, but if they use it strategically, then that's when they're at their best because then they're able to stretch opposition back lines as required, or even small forward lines. They've got the ability to do something like that.
I don't think their height's a problem. I just thought their midfield's inside dominant, I would say.
One thing
from that game at Warrandyte, again, I've only seen them the one time at Warrandyte, I just thought inside dominant. So Yeah.
we spoke about it. Their inside effectiveness,
Yeah,
but their
they're
outside
so
run,
good, and then they got it out on the outside and just couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah,
so
they
it'll be
couldn't match
interesting
up,
to see
and they
how
turned the ball over, and a couple of those critical turnovers.
But I also like the way that Warrandyte are able to control one of their biggest strengths, I reckon, is their ability to control the tempo of the contest, and they seem to pace themselves pretty well throughout the contest. I've always been a bit of a Luke Dunn fan, and I think with Ryan Phillips coming into the side, that just opens up Luke Dunn again, because when Ash Froud was the main man at Warrandyte, they directed a lot of traffic through him, and Luke Dunn became sort of like the unforgotten forward, but that was when he was at his most dangerous. And the fact is with Luke, you have a look, if he's not leading the goal kicker for the game, he's always number 2.
Yeah, he's always kicking him, isn't he? Yeah. Look, he's a good player, and he played really well on that afternoon.
Very smart footballer, Luke Dunn.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real arm wrestle. I would expect this game, this could be around that 10 to 15 point margin, and could go either way.
I'm going Warrandyte.
So am I. Yeah,
I'll go East Burl.
You have to, mate. You've got to go East
Club
Burl.
loyalty, but
Exactly.
it's at home. But I think when you play at home, you have the responsibility to win at home, and I think they can do it in those conditions.
It's interesting though for East Burwood. So, like I said, Division 3, we sort of mentioned off the top of the show that it's basically Warrandyte are safe. They've got a win percentage of like 88%. They won't miss finals.
This is an 8-point game.
So the second is East Burwood, third is Domvale, who play Glen Waverley today, so you'd expect them to win. Waverley Blues are in fourth, they play Fair Park, you'd expect them to win. Ferntree Gully have the bye in fifth, and Scoresby in sixth play Whitehorse. So third, fourth and sixth will all win. If East Burwood were to lose, it would basically then, it would just bring East Burwood would drop down to fifth. And then East Burwood in their run home have got Scoresby and Waverley Blues and Ferntree Gully to come. So
they're still going to play Fair Park as well.
Yeah, so they got.
Twice?
Just the once.
Oh, just the once, is it? Okay.
So East Burwood will have one locked win, the Fair Park game. They should win the game against Scoresby, but the other, it's just one of like you said, it's an 8-point game because of their run home and the fact that if in any team besides Warrandyte slips up at the moment, they fall from. We saw Ferntree Gully the other week, Brash.
Yeah.
They were second going into the game. With 5 minutes to go, they were a game off top. Billy McCormack kicks 2 goals in a minute and they fall from second down to almost sixth.
Yep.
It's incredible that division that, like you said, there seems to be an 8-point game every week.
Yeah, the evenness.
And the fact too that the Gully have got the bye this week, so there's
It's actually not a bad time to have the bye for Ferntree Gully because they can just sit back and see the chaos unfold.
Yeah, but obviously they come back next week against a side that's had a run. They haven't had a run for a month, and for the Gully, I reckon, are going to have to win every game.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit.
Makes it really hard for them now.
Yeah,
I think their run home's not too bad.
But they still need.
I think East Burwood have got the toughest run home,
Yeah.
but Ferntree Gully are coming from behind. I think Scoresby it'd be a miracle to get in, but because they draw now, because it's match ratio, it's a bit harder to see that as an advantage. Waverley Blues, I think, all of a sudden they're in a pretty good spot. I think they should win today. If they can beat East Burwood, then they're probably a lock to make that top 4, Waverley.
Yeah, they are, but I've still got to. You got to take them on trust. I still can't trust them yet.
Yeah, Waverley, their form has been up and down. The ones we think they're going to win, they tend to lose.
Well, I think they've got Glen Waverley to come still, who they did lose to earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of very winnable games there for Waverley Blues. But anyway, the other games in Division 3 today. Glen Waverley hosting Domvale, as I mentioned. Domvale should win, but again, this division, every time you think you've got a read on a side, they seem to trip over. And Glen Waverley, one of those teams that occasionally can produce a performance.
Well, they've had some heartbreaking losses too, the Glen Waverley Hawks at home in particular.
And against Domvale early in the year, they kicked 8 unanswered goals to lose by a goal.
It's a bit attitude with Domvale because we thought that game was gone, and then all of a sudden they crawled over the line, so they wouldn't want to leave it too late today. They've got to do their work early in the game.
I just think when you look at Domvale, they've probably got a good side, but to me it's all about the mental side of it for them at the moment, because I reckon they switched off a bit in that game against the Gully when they should have really put the game away in that second quarter in the week before against the Gully.
Yeah,
but
they
switched off.
spurts, don't they?
Yeah, and that'll be the only thing that brings Domvale undone, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Interesting to see how it plays out.
Fair Park hosts Waverley Blues. Now, Fair Park at home is a different kettle of fish to Fair Park away.
Yep.
Again, like, Waverley Blues on paper should win this handily, but Fair Park at home, you just never know. That weird ground, Waverley Blues are susceptible to having a wobble. Do you see any hope for Fair Park today?
Well, after having a win the last time they played, they'll go in with some confidence knowing that they can compete. And I think that's what the attitude that they've got to take into the game. So playing at your home ground, okay, they've got to beat us on our ground to win this game. So I'm not sure that they can do it Fair Park, but I think they're going to be pretty competitive right throughout the course of the game. But I just think they'll fall a little bit short.
Momentum's a big thing, I reckon, and they probably would have been hoping, Fair Park, that the season continued, because all of a sudden they've had that win. They needed the win. Now they've had to wait another 3 weeks again, right, to get back on the horse. And I don't know whether that could be a bridge too far, especially when you're giving Waverley Blues another chance at it.
If Fair Park, though, get another win at home, and it'll have to be at home, I think, that brings White Horse is still out of the woods, and they host Scoresby today. So Scoresby should win that again.
And I've gone Scoresby.
Yeah, I think Scoresby should win it. They're quite comfortably, but I don't think White Horse are out of the woods yet.
No, they're not.
No, they've got some work to do, but I
they've
think
got a lot of
Scoresby,
work, and I think you hit the nail on the head. The last time we did pre-match, Matty, they're asking too much of Padbury.
Yeah, well, that's been an issue the whole season.
Way too much. And
he didn't play. He hasn't played footy for a year, hasn't he? Or was he?
No, he went and played at the Amos.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and then he came back.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're getting to. Is that a bit of? They got the Oscars music going in the ears there. We're running a bit rusty after a month off.
Yeah.
Spider, Brash,
Thank you.
Thanks very much
guys. Talk
for
soon.
Jumping back onto the pre-game. We're here at H.E. Parker Reserve, and on the other side of this break, it'll be Ben Warren-Smith, Brett Beston, Wayne Brasher, as you heard, and Ryan Long in riding shotgun there as we call all the action between Heathmont and South Belgrave for Eastland EFNL Match of the Day.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout them a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or for some people, show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $255 a year on water and energy bills. Save the performance for the stage. Shower shorter. Save water.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's
Okay, guys, 2 minutes.
sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Eastland, we believe one day isn't enough to celebrate all that our beautiful mums do. That's why we're celebrating Happy Mother's Day, the festival of love she deserves. From dining to fashion, homewares or a pampering session, Eastland has all your favourite brands ready to spoil mum. And if you need inspiration, check out our online gift guides. Spend $250 and you'll go in the running to win a $50 Eastland gift card till May 8th. T's and C's apply. Find out more at eastland.com.au. Eastland, live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox...
Okay, guys, 30 seconds and mics will be on.
One Turner.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. You beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland,
It's time
live real.
for the match of the round. Let's cross to our team and go local for your footy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. EFL game day. Big game. Heathmont versus South Belgrave. The crew is assembled. Umpires are out on the ground. And the players are now making their way into the arena as South Belgrave enter the field. Big welcome to the broadcast, and I'm sure he's looking forward to calling the game this afternoon. Brett Beston, good afternoon to you, Brett.
Thanks, Brace. Yeah, looking forward to this one immensely. Of course, 2v4 and perfect conditions. There is a bit of rain forecast later, which we hope doesn't eventuate, but certainly from a watching point of view today, it's a lovely ground. It's in perfect nick. Weather's good, and I think we're in for a good game if you're asking me, which you're probably not. I think South Belgrave in a close one.
In fact, I was going to ask you, and making his debut today in the special events chair, joining me this afternoon, Ryan Long. Congratulations, Ryan. You've worked hard this year, and now you get a chance to sit with the big boys.
Thanks, Brash, and I'm very happy it's this game. I've been enjoying the Div 2 clashes so far. We got a good look at Heathmont earlier in the year, and they did show a lot of signs against Ringwood, who we looked at as the benchmark of the division. So, yeah, excited to see them, and certainly South Belgrave as well. Although they sit fourth, they seem to be just about the second contenders of Ringwood almost, with their firepower up forward. They've got a lot of stars. Tim Smith, no question, and they're a real attacking side. And Heathmont can hold their own as well. So looking forward to the game, very much so.
And on the boundary line this afternoon, we've got Matty Fodia and Jared Beanland, and we'll be crossing down to them very, very shortly. And Ryan, who did you say was going to, who's your selection?
My tip, I'm going to have to go with South Belgrave. I think they've just got too much presence up forward. So I'm going to tip them by 2 to 3 goals, but I think it'll be pretty close.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good, actually it's a really good game, Brett, to actually come back off the break. Both sides were in very good form with good winning streaks.
Yeah, they are. Heathmont are probably. It's funny that we're all picking South Belgrave, because you look at the form line and you think.
Well, I picked Heathmont.
Oh, you did pick Heathmont, but for me, I just think Heathmont are a young team, so the fitness could come into play, but the bigger bodies of the South Belgrave side, a bit more experience, and they just might wear them down in that last quarter. But I think we saw that. Was it Ryan, Heathmont and Ringwood?
Ringwood, yeah. They had patches.
It happened a bit in the last quarter, and they sort of had patches in that game where they sort of drifted in and out. So, look, they're at home. They've got everything to play for, but I don't know. I've just got a sneaking feeling that South Belgrave will get up.
I will add, they do play this ground very well. I don't think they've lost here since round 1 against the Basin. So, and it is by, I think their average winning margins, I think it's almost about 50 points. So they do play it very well, which is
I might change
another
my
benefit.
I'm kidding. No,
I reckon the hardest thing about playing this ground, gentlemen, from the years that I've watched it, is the centre half forward position in this ground is on this particular type of ground is a very hard position to play, because you sort of like, when you look at how close the centre square is to the 50-metre arc, you sort of don't know whether to go push forward or to actually push back.
It's sort of a bit, it almost looks like it's too close, doesn't it? But it's a little bit compressed. But you're right, Brash, it is an interesting ground, but certainly the width-wise, it is quite a wide ground. So
it's also good, though, gentlemen, to have local football back. The last 3 weeks, and I had a feeling we were going to lose the 3 rounds. But when we actually came back from the first lockdown, the skill factor, Ryan, when we went to Ringwood, was pretty high that day.
Oh, you wouldn't have even thought they really had a break from the time that we watched them, the Ringwood Heathmont game. Heathmont came out firing in that first quarter. We saw that their skill level in just being able to lock the ball in the forward 50. They did that quite well against Ringwood, and like we said just before, they're going to need to play a 4-quarter performance. They need to be able to control that battle in the midfield and be able to lock it inside forward 50 to give themselves as many chances as they can. But I'm also looking forward to see how their defence will hold up against so many South Belgrave forwards that are being able to kick goals. You look at Tim Smith, Ottomat's already had quite an impressive year.
Damien Garner's got 20 odd goals, so they've got options. They've got options all over the ground, which is obviously a big thing for them. Absolutely.
Boundary side. We'll cross down boundary side to Jared Beanland.
G'day guys.
Hello, mate.
Beautiful day down here at H.E. Parker. Wind is going to be going to the right of screen. We just saw the toss. Heathmont won it, and they'll be going to the right of screen.
So Heathmont going down to the... Obviously, it looks like they might have taken the wind option, even though...
So the wind is going that direction?
Yeah, I think it's going across the ground, actually. I don't think it really is going to favour anyone.
I don't think we hardly ever get a game where the wind's blowing straight down the ground. It's always a cross breeze, and then it swirls around for a bit and it changes. So I don't think the wind is ever really a true factor.
And in today's modern football, the old adage of when you get the ball, kick the ball along with the wind, that doesn't really fly with it anymore, does it?
That's old-fashioned, isn't it? I mean, it's all about ball use, keeping possession, and just trying to, well, depending on who you're playing, obviously, but yeah.
Another young player who's really impressed us, especially over the last couple of years for Heathmont, is their centre forward Finn Brown.
Yeah,
yes, I've liked Finn from he's got a good endurance. He can take a good mark.
Let's just head back down to the boundary again, boys.
Yeah, best though, Brash. You just beat me to it, Brash. I was going to talk about Finn Brown. In recent times, obviously, he looks like he's starting in the ruck today, but he's been used as a bit of a swingman. So he might even go back in defence if that 3-pronged forward line that you guys are talking about gets on top for South Belgrave.
Yeah, it's a good point, Matty, because I was going to say that myself. I've watched a couple of the games that they've played, and he seems to have spent a bit of time in defence. So he's developing into a really handy utility, isn't he?
He does, and obviously the other guy for South Belgrave we'll always keep an eye on. Doesn't matter what ground he plays at, this ground is always close to his heart as well. Lee Odermatt, class footballer, always knows how to kick goals and knows how to kick them here, so we're in for a bumper contest.
Thanks, Brash. Just about set to go in the middle of this very nice day here at H.E. Parker Reserve. Sirens having a bit of a problem, I think, but finally it goes up in there, and there it is, that man Finn Brown. He gets the tap down, and it's taken away there by South Belgrave, but an early free kick will go their way, and we'll come back for a free kick just forward of centre. That'll be taken by, I think that's Connolly there, either Connolly or Garner, and it gives it off. Now here they come forward, South Belgrave, the first inside 50 of the game. The long kick forward, Wes Odermatt goes over the top, and that might be a free kick as well. Smith it was, who was taken to ground, but the umpire says no, we'll just have the... And a 25,
yeah.
So a little bit of early indiscipline there, which we don't want to see, but inevitably happens every week. So it's in the hands of Burley. It's Joel Burley, of course, brother Ryan playing on the side as well. Now it's knocked out towards the boundary. All beautifully picked up over there. I think that's Forbes gets it back inside. Nicely picked up there by Van Leeuwen, gets a handball over the top. Little chip down the line there from Isaacs. Can he hit the target? Beautiful mark. It's been paid as well. That's a terrific grab over there. Now they'll go inside 50, a little short kick. Just into in fact, it's been turned over. It's not a great kick at all, so South Belgrave will bring it forward. Just over a minute played here. Just very much a filling out period. South Belgrave going forward, kicking to about half forward, and it's been taken over there. That's a poor kick and easily cut off over there by, I think it might be McDonald over there. Goes right foot down the line, trying to find a target. There's plenty of South Belgrave defence down there again. That's another poor kick. That's the second time that's happened as they go inboard this time. Trying to find a target. Kid couldn't get his hands to it. On the ground there was McDonald. Wrapped up nicely. Good tackle by Treegart. And we'll have a ball up.
It is very early on, but you're right about the skill level. Just a lot of missed kicks going over the top of players, both ways as well, not to one just side.
So Heath might get it out of the middle. The kick forward, trying to find Smith. He's had a fantastic season, Tim Smith. He's 32 goals. He's a leading goal kicker in the competition, and if he gets on the end of a couple, so umpire to throw it back in.
Smart footballer as well, Tim Smith.
He certainly is. So finally the umpire gets it in. He's working his way to the front spot there and doing well. Was that man, in fact that was Evans, we were talking about. Evans gets a little handball out there, but South Belgrave can get it clear now, and they kick down to about half back. Beautifully picked up there. That's superb play by Brown. Brown gets it, but it's been knocked forward, and that'll be a free kick for some holding, I would say.
That's a good free kick. They had no one up forward.
Odermatt pushing up onto the wing, so he wins the free kick now, and he goes left foot down the line. Just trying to find a target, but it's not the flashiest kick in the world. Dropped over there, though. Should have been taken by McDonald. Now that little short kick out of defence. And here's Heathmont to bring it forward. Nicely done there by Isaac. It's not Isaac, sorry. It is Haynes.
Boundary.
As we go boundary with Matt Fodio.
Yeah, just a couple of those key matchups in the South Belgrave forward line. So Jake Sheriff's gone to Lee Odermatt, so two wise old heads going head-to-head. And Harry Isaacs, the young fella, he's got the big job on Tim Smith. Garner looks to push higher up the ground, so he hasn't got a direct opponent, but that's what we've got for you down here.
Thanks, Matty. Good observation. Joel Merritt spreads it across. Now it's in the hands of Haynes. He goes, a scrubby old kick on the ground. There is Evans trying to pick it up. He got it. It comes out, but... it's all a bit untidy now. It's in the hands of Haynes, who gets a kick forward, and that's a beauty. And the mark is taken, and this should be the first goal of the game. Taking it full forward. As we watch the replay, it was a bit untidy, but it just came out in a beautiful little kick here by Haynes. Just drilled it. And the mark was taken.
It almost there, Heathmont just summed up the situation and looked at the win and decided, let's keep these next possessions low, and it's paid off there.
So Taylor Wallace it is, he's taken the mark, and he drills it from right in front. He's another left footer. The goal umpire having a good look, and it's through. So the first goal of the day, and it's Heathmont who open their scoring out here at H.E. Parker Reserve, and a good start for them.
It is, and that's exactly what you want on when you first get back onto a ground, so to speak. I mean, obviously the cobwebs are on. They're going to take a little while to eke themselves out, but just as long as you can get your hands on the ball.
You're right, and South Belgrave, they had plenty of opportunities there just earlier. That kick inside 50, there was about 5 Heathmont players around that. I think it was Tim Smith and maybe one other South Belgrave. So they just need to start like that, lowering their eyes, looking for a target, and make sure to be able to hit those sort of short kicks, direct kicks, and especially with the wind that could carry it.
So back in the middle, Heath might get the first score of the day. Major, as the umpire just taking his time as he wanders over like he's going for a walk in the gardens on a Sunday afternoon. Up it goes. There's the knock down. Nicely done there by Smith. Trying to get his hands on it there was Forbes, I think it was. Now the ball comes out, and here's Heathmont with, South Belgrave with a chance to go forward. Good ball from Bartels, and the ball smothered. It's going to go out of bounds over there on the far side. Right about half forward. Good play by Bartels, but good defence once again by Heathmont.
I think the one thing that's is going to determine this game so far is actually both sides, midfield, are going to be really, really crucial in determining the outcome of this contest.
So, ball to come back in as we welcome Ben Warren-Smith to the commentary for the first time this afternoon.
Thanks very much, Besto. Rucks go at it now. Went straight through the arms of Brown, who goes after it again, gets the handball out. That's okay. Burley got dispossessed of the football, then goes after a great second effort. We'll have a bounce, or a throw up, we should say. 70 metres out from the Heathmont goal line. The fall of the ball, right, barging through there. Burley, little snap around the body, dribbling kick up towards the 50, and out of bounds she goes.
Boundary.
So let's head out to the boundary, Matt Fodia.
Yeah, Lee Odermatt's just got a bit of work done on his right calf on the ground. You can see the trainer wiping the deep heat off on the grass there. So he was just working on that right calf. So just keep an eye on it, lads.
Old man's calf. So, not sure what's going on here. We're taking an eternity to get the play restarted. Finally, the umpire gets it in. Up they go, getting up nicely over the top. They're on one by Heathmont. The ball goes inside 50 once again. Funny old spoil, but it's going to do the trick, and it will go out of bounds in the right forward pocket. So we've had just over 6.5 minutes played, and Heathmont with the territory advantage at the moment, and the first goal on the board as well. So once again, taking an awful long time to get the ball back into play. We're on a bit of a go slow here. Up it goes, getting to the front spot there was Treegart. Did well as the ball is knocked down. Back into the contest again though, and it'll be wrapped up, and we'll have another ball up.
Forward pressure's been pretty good early for Heathmont. They've been able to trap it inside that forward 50 half.
So the umpire would throw it up. It's about 20 metres out. Treegart got the knockdown straight into the arms there of Kidd, who's quickly wrapped up there by Bailey Stevens. Let's do it all again. And a bad left sleeve there by Kidd.
No, it's impressive, yeah.
Nicely done by Aiden as Treegart got the knockdown. Little handball over the top by that man Kidd. Comes out towards the 50 for Heathmont. Backwards to go forwards. Thought I heard a whistle there, but the umpire said it was okay. McDonald handballed it to himself in the end, went after it, dived on it, and we will bring it up for another stoppage. Two great jumpers of the Eastern Football League, Heathmont and South Belgrave. A big fan. Charging his way through there was Liam Kidd. He dropped the pill. That's holding the ball, you would say. Or as the umpire... Yes, incorrect disposal it was. Thanks, Giggles.
Umpire Bruce Prest.
There's Haynes. Nice kick inside the 50 there. They go at it, but it was Garner who was there to mop up the pieces. Got the handball back. The quick kick out of the defensive arc was intended for Black, but Murphy Ambrose charges after it. He got brought to ground, and now it'll be a chance now for Black again. So South Belgrave a chance to go forward. The kick goes up towards the forward line, but it was chopped off there by Gosbull. The handball back. Jets just looking like they might have a bit of time here. The umpire said it was touched off the boot, and that really put off their Haynes. So now a chance for the Saints through Kidd. Through the middle of the ground, they go up into the forward arc. There's a little bit of space here, a little bit of time for Connolly, who just had the time, the poise and the skill to put it through. That's South Belgrade's first on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Scores are level, Wayne Brasher.
They are, BWS, and gee, they found some space there. South Belgrave, really impressive there. They moved that ball very quickly then off that opposition half-back line.
They caught a few Heathmont defenders up the ground too far then. They had 3 open in the forward 50. So that's what they've got to do, because Heathmont will look to try and trap that ball in the forward 50. So if they can transfer that run from the half-back and end that in some scoring, it'll be go a long way for their chances today to get up.
Really impressive goal there by Brodie Connolly, because he was, at the end of the day, he got a little push as he kicked it, but that might have helped it go through, Besto.
It was a strange old one, wasn't it? He was sort of on his own with not too much to challenge him, as the free kick is won in the middle by South Belgrave. They take it quickly and they go forward now. Kicked about half forward. Mark almost taken, but it's spilled away, but they've still got a chance. Nice pick up there by Brown. Brown gets his handball away, and now it's time for Heathmont to go forward. Big kick straight down the ground. Nicely done there by Costa. Off half back, they spread it wide. Juggling around there was Bartels. I think it was. No, in fact, it was Robertson. Now they get it forward. An opportunity for them to come forward. Bajramov, he's had a good season so far. Plenty of goals, 18 of them in fact, as the ball is on the ground, and that'll be a ball up. On the bottom of that is Hudson, and the umpire says we will throw it up. So good.
No, he's seen a free kick here, Brett.
Okay, yeah, maybe a little bit of a high shot in there somewhere. Couldn't really see a lot on that, but anyway.
It's called holding the ball.
It's called it, yeah. It's pinged him for holding the ball.
Not a bit stiff there on Hudson.
That's rough, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be Evans who gets it towards the hot spot. Didn't have the confidence to go for goal, and the mark's been taken straight over the back.
Gee, they completely misread it then, that South Belgrave defence.
They certainly did. That was a strange old kick. Bajramov, who's had a very good year. He's a very talented young player. 16 goals so far this season. And he should add to that with Heathmont second of the afternoon. Puts it through Bajramov, so that's his first of the day. Heathmont second, and they lead on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard after 10 minutes. It's 2 goals straight to 1 goal straight.
Yeah, well, he's a quality football, Barsmarov. He's played for Montrose in Premier and first and Premier Division a few years ago. So he comes to Heathmont with pretty. He's come to Heathmont with good credentials.
So
and
it's Barge, not Badge?
Yeah, Bajmarov. I'm not sure.
We're
mate.
going with Bajmarov.
Bajmarov, all right.
Let's be consistent.
Yep, no problem.
Just waiting for the ball to come back in. It's a bit harder when you don't have the under-19s or such playing behind the goals and following the sides. You've got to almost go and collect your own football. So just waiting for that to come back now. And it's a bit of a hill down there behind the goals.
Geez, we're going to have a lot of time on by the time we have all these balls going over the back. We'll have like 35-minute quarters.
Yeah, might finish in darkness.
Boundary.
Let's go boundary side.
Just some quick matchups here down in the Heathmont forward line. We've got Bajramov, who's being followed by Milivojevic, and we've also got Evans, who's being tailed by Robertson.
Thanks, Jared.
Sorry, that was Castledine, not Milivojevic.
Thanks, Jared.
And there, Jared Beanland today, riding shotgun to the media manager, Matt Fodia. Best spot in the park down there on H.E. Parker as we go into the middle. The rucks go at it. Brown got the little back flick, so Heathmont go forward again, inside forward 50, looking for Bajramov, who just stuck the jukes out and took it on the second bite. Fantastic play there. He came charging out from that stoppage, and he was in front, and that's where you got to be, Brush.
You certainly do, especially when you're going with the wind. The more in front, and you're leading up the ground, you've got a better chance of getting the ball.
Distance won't be a problem. He looks pretty confident. He'll kick from just outside the arc. He comes in and he got too close to the man on the mark. He did the opposite to what I thought he would do, and he kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Impressive kick from the middle, though. It's quite easy to blaze away when you've got the wind with you.
Well, it wasn't that impressive of a kick out then by South Belgrave. It was a floater which hit the jukes there of Milivojevic, but he couldn't quite hold it, and over she goes for a boundary throw-in. So we've gone 13 minutes here in the first term on EFNL Game Day. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast from home. There'll be plenty watching today as well, as we still can't go out and watch our local sides play footy, but hopefully it won't be too far away, and hopefully your side can get up and you can enjoy the broadcast today. Bajramov from the stoppage goes after it again. On his tail there was Black. He did well, got it. Somehow they worked themselves out there. Smith, though, he was quickly wrapped up by Burley and co, and we will have a ball up just inside the paint, about 75 metres out from the Jets goal line. Rucks go out at Black at the fall of the ball. He's quite lively and quite quick as well as he kicks it up towards the wing position. All players are forward of the ball at the moment, so no one in the South Belgrave forward arc if they get a quick kick forward. So Kidd spun on a Thrupp, he kicks the ball inside forward 50. He was looking for Odermatt. He was out position that time, was Lee, and now it'll be Heathmont through the arms of Murphy Ambrose to re-attack.
So Ambrose going for a run. He can run a long time too before anyone gets near him, and he kicks a lot of open players. Guys standing around with no one on them. Nice mark by Bailey Stevens. Good player as he kicks his kick forward. Mark taken there. That's Caleb Quirk, just forward of centre, or around about centre wing. Looking around for options, decides to go back, just chipping it back. So it felt like they should have gone quickly then, Heathmont, but they slowed it up. Ambrose with the ball.
They've missed their opportunity here, Heathmont.
They have. I think he should have definitely gone early. Now goes inside, and they're really just milking around here. It's Burley of the Joel variety. Gets it down the line there. Nicely taken. Little short kick inside, trying to find a target, and that's beautifully done. Van Leeuwen it was, and he's going to play on Van Leeuwen, and he gets a kick towards half forward, but it goes right over the top, and it's going to go out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in. A little bit of a scuffle over there in the on the ground. It was Silva and Osborne just getting acquainted at the start of the game.
That was well played by South Belgrave, that little passage of play. Forced Heathmont into a 50-50 stoppage here.
So it'll be, I think it'll be Evans to go up against Costa. The ball, a good tackle there by Connolly, released it for Black, and now they've linked up to Kidd in the middle of the ground. So Liam Kidd on the left kicks it up towards the half-forward line. He was looking for Odermatt, who got one bite on it. Little handball back to Lee. It might be advantage paid. He just didn't have enough purchase on it on the end, and it's gone straight down the throat there of Ambrose, who looked this way, then went that way on the left boot. That was classy play. Chipped it over the top there to Robbie Savoury, one of my all-time favourites. And now a chance for the Jets to square themselves up and go the switch even, in fact, and that's exactly the way that they go along the wing position. Nice kick by Stevens. He spotted up a target. It had to stay strong, and the mark has been taken there by Osborne, who wants to waste no time on the left, goes towards the half-forward line or even inside, but the umpire had already called a whistle, and back she will come, and it'll be a free kick. Well, it's going to be to Osborne, but he might have got a 25
metres.
Which is one of the weakest 25s I've ever seen. He's put him about 12 metres forward from where he kicked it, so hasn't given him much of an opportunity here to have a ping, but Osborne might still go back, Cam, and have a shot on goal.
Remind me not to buy any real estate off this guy, will you, mate?
100%. So Osborne, he's going to back himself in here. We're right behind him. Going to wind around on the left. He speared at it in the end, really, didn't he? And he pushed it way right and through for a minor score. So that's the first blemish of the afternoon on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 17 minutes gone in this first term, and we see Heathmont leading by 7 points, 2-1 to one straight.
So South Belgrave to bring the ball back in, but as we've been saying earlier, the ball's gone right over the back, and with no one to retrieve it, we're having some quite long waits in between scoring shots as the ball comes back up the hill. So still pleasant conditions, although you can see that the cloud is starting to come across, so there is some rain forecast.
They got 700 million from the government. They should have put up a net or something behind the
Yeah, I think so. It couldn't be that hard, surely. So South Belgrave to bring the ball back in. I'm really quite baffled as to the slow play from both sides, really taking ages to get rid of the ball. That's a beautiful mark taken there by Savoury.
He could nearly kick it from there.
Now he can puts it on the left boot, puts it inside 50. Can they get a mark up? They fly, but it goes to ground. Chasing back there, trying to get it was Young. He's got it too. Gets a handball away. Here's an opportunity. The shot at goal, and that might just... Oh, no, it's out of bounds on the full. It was a difficult angle and spewed wide for a throw-in, or free kick, sorry. So, 2 goals, 1 plays, 1 straight. And once again, we have to wait for the ball to return from...
Sharp pass back from the young fella over the fence
does he get a stat for that?
Oh, I reckon. Hit the guy a chocolate as the kick goes out of that defensive zone for South Belgrave. It was a good kick too. You can see the wind just carry it there. Connolly wants to switch it back inside. So what can the Saints manufacture here? They're going back wide again. Sam Brown takes it. One of the ball brigade for the Saints. Of course, receiving it from Michael Smith, another one of my all-time favourites. He goes short there. Trigart. Ruckman will use the middle of the ground. That's okay. Spotted up his teammate there. We've got a number 17 out
Castledine.
there. Castledine got it across. Now, inside forward 50. The Saints go. Ambrose was at the back. He did well, Murphy. He trapped it in the end, and then a little chip kick over the top was good, and spotted up Burley just underneath the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, where the Jets lead by 7 points. Will they create the switch? It's a pretty fast-paced game of football at the moment. Burley, this time of the Joel variety, will switch it out wide towards the netball centre. So squeeze it back up. Hanson across the half-back line. Skills are pretty tidy as Hanson just goes bang and kicks it straight down the guts. It's the closest way home, and a free kick has been paid against Heathmont. It'll be against, I think it will be against Burley, Molino there for a bit of a shepherd. And a bit of a waste as well, if you ask me, that they had the opportunity. Now it's a chance here for South Belgrave. Here's Milovovic, gets it inside forward 50 or to centre half forward. He should have been paid a mark in the end. It definitely went the required distance, and now a free kick has been paid the way of Ambrose, who just is as cool as a cucumber, always in a tough situation, and he switches it out wide. Very rarely wastes a possession either, as he spots up his teammate out there in, I thought that might have been Brown, but it wasn't, as the kick goes inside the centre. I like the fact that they're attacking both sides here. Charging after it that time there was McDonald. He put a lot of pressure on, twice in fact, got it away, but then Kidd came in, got the handball away to Black, who was looking sideways, then squared himself up and spotted up a teammate up towards the half forward line in Brown, who swings around on the left boot, kicks the ball up towards the 50. It wasn't a pretty one, but Garner was there. He had the time. Here's Odermatt. Will Lee squeeze this one back? It looked like he was going to square things up, in fact, but the check side just wouldn't go through. Would have loved that one to go through in front of the old Heathmont grandstand, but nonetheless, through for 1 behind, and margin back to 6 points, 13 plays 7 as we hit time on Besto in the first term.
Just as we bring the ball, Brash, interesting question. I just noticing there's so much space. There seems to be guys in acres of space. Is that just bad marking, or is this ground bigger than we sort of anticipated?
Oh, I think it might be a bit of both.
Well, they had the run here, and I'll tell you what, they had a fair player all by himself in the 50, Heathmont, if they could have actually just got it away, but instead they're going to link up South Belgrave and go on the return, kicking towards the middle of the ground. Might be a chopping of the shoulders, of the hands, I should say, and the umpire paid it. Then he brought it back again, so not too sure why it wouldn't be advantage paid, but a good mark then taken by the umpire too. We'll pay that one also.
I think both sides, Brett, are trying to play their own game style, and it depends on what suits at that appropriate time.
Just something I've noticed. Van Leeuwen pumps it forward to run about the hot spot. Up they go. Goes through the hands of Bajramov. Back there was Silva. Couldn't take it. They're under a fair bit of pressure here as it's batted forward. Now the funny little kick across the face of goal, but that's not going to get it done, and it's going to go out of bounds in the opposite pocket. In fact, it's on the full by the looks.
The good thing about this, Brian, is the fact that both sides, when they get their chance to move the ball, they're moving it quite well.
They are, so no excuse not to move the ball well today, though. It's beautiful conditions. The sun's gone out for the moment, but it's nice and dry and hard, and the ground looks quite fast, and it's trapped in that right forward pocket for the moment. We've had 22 minutes, low scoring, 2 goals, 1 plays, 1 goal, 1. But quite an entertaining game nonetheless. Once again, taking an absolute age to get the ball back in. It's starting to really get on my goat as the ball goes down. I'll have to go and have a chat to the umpires at half-time as they try and go get it out of there, but it's Withers who went without it. Now it's on the ground. Heathmont can wrap it up here, and they'll be happy with a stoppage.
You'd be happy with a time-wasting free kick, would you, Brett?
Well, I've never been the world's...
Who do you give it to if it's the umpire?
He could be the first umpire to ever penalise himself. Now the ball in there, it's trying to get his hands on it was Kidd. Trying to bullock his way through there was Black. Now it's on the ground and the umpire says we'll have another ball up.
Tell you what, he's lucky he didn't get pinged there. He tried to break 2 tackles and got brought to ground. I would have paid that holding the ball, and he's actually hurt himself there.
Which in fact, it's Kidd, Liam Kidd, yep. He looks a bit worse for wear, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's holding his right elbow. The boys will keep a close eye on that one, I think.
So up it goes. There's the knockdown by Treegart into the hands of Kidd, who got back into the play pretty quickly. Nice work there by Withers. Twists out of the tackle. This guy's played well so far. Black, nice little ball out there too.
Milovovic.
That's the one, yeah. As the ball goes down, it's in the hands of... Yeah, that's the boy. And the umpire says we'll come back for... I knew I'd mess it up at least one time today. As South Belgrave go down the middle of the ground, but that's a poor kick, and it's easily marked there by Declan Brown.
See, that was a true mongrel punt, that one.
It certainly was. Looked like one of my kicks. So Declan Brown goes across. That's almost overcooked. He's a bit lucky there, but the mark is taken by Haynes. Saved his bacon. 23 minutes paid as the ball goes out wide. Just going from across the ground. Bailey Stevens. Good player, but we haven't seen a lot of him so far today. Now Stevens goes down the line, trying to hit a target. Who's down there? Bajramov is there, I think. In fact, it might be Sheriff. But the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have a throw-in around about... just outside the, just around from the forward pocket, but Heathmont still with the territory advantage.
They do love this possession-style football coming out of the halfback, Heathmont. They do look to hit up targets before they launch it inside 50.
Evans to go against Treegard. Evans got the knockdown straight into the arms of Stevens, who bangs it on his boot, kicked it up towards centre half forward. He was looking for the big man in Bajramov, who got the handball away. He nearly knocked the head off Burley. He'll get it back though on the receive. He just traps it in time. Got a little tricky toe poke just to keep the ball alive. That's clever play. Very clever play. A lot of players would have just got boot to ball, got the purchase, and it would have gone out of bounds on the full. But I'm definitely paying that one as a 1%er.
He's looming as the most dangerous forward this afternoon.
Bajramov. Yeah, he looks classy, doesn't he?
My mother taught me to never talk with my mouth full, Brash. You should do the same. As it comes out now, as Stevens will take 2 on the boundary throw-in.
I'm more interested to know why he's got food and we don't.
Ball to be thrown in. 6 points is the margin. Heathmont have it, and they have the win too. And it's quite a hefty one, although it is pushing across the ground. Brown got the knockdown into Kidd, who did a little dance. He didn't get down tonight, but he got the free kick.
But he's been in everything, though.
He's a gun. He's an absolute gun, the kid. As he comes out now. And might be... I feel like there was a whistle there, but it's probably from the netball boards as well. some marks being taken. So you can see Ambrose screaming for some support as the kick goes up towards the half-forward line. Connolly was in there. The ball didn't stay alive, and a little Declan Brown, how do you do? And too bad, so sad you didn't mark it, mate. And over she goes for a boundary throw right in front of us here in the broadcast position. What facilities they are here out at HE Parker Reserve, the best in the business. A great joint venture from the cricket club and the football club to get this place buzzing. It's the best facilities in the eastern suburbs for mine. As it comes out now, little handball goes, and it's nicely trapped there by Haynes, who did well to snap it around, but it was quickly chopped off there by Wakefield. Got the handball away to Walls. Walls kicks it towards centre half forward. A big fly over the back there by the Sheriff. He got the fist on it as well, and it came out to there to Odermatt, who got the handball to Costa. Costa squares it up. He's looking out there for Withers, who was out the back of the pack there. He just waited for it in the end. Evans got the handball away, and nicely done there by Haynes to go backwards to go forwards. They'll square things up now. Will they get a bit of luck? It's a 3-on-1 situation. Black goes charging through. What a fantastic smother it was there, though, by the Jets. But the second effort was strong by Black, but he was a little bit frustrated at his disposal prior, and he's given away a free kick. And good gut shown there by Jordan Haynes. We'll go back now, just have a bit of a breath, and he'll spear it backwards and go to that far side pocket. It's really ticked Bruce off that disposal as it comes in as Sheriff squared things up to Declan Brown. It's Brown with an E. He'll go short. Neat skills. So it'll be Wallace, who was just waiting for support, running out wide, and he definitely got that in the end in Isaacs. Isaacs got the handball away. It's almost a little bit slow motion, Heathmont, as they make their way forward now, waiting for the football and the wrong un, and it'll be a chance there by, is it Castledine, did you say, 17?
Yes.
Yep, Castledine got the handball across to Brown. Brown was right on his hammer, was Burley. Umpire ended up letting that one go. Kid got legged at the crucial stage there and won another free kick. So he's, barely breaking a sweat, Liam Kidd, and he's absolutely around everything at the moment. Short pass over, and speaking about not raising a sweat, this guy's got some dash about him. Black, he's absolutely everywhere now. Short passes on, Darcy Wallace. Almost like they're milking the clock, and they certainly were then, because they could see or feel that this quarter-time siren was imminent. And I think they'll take that as a win, South Belgrave, going against this. It's a bit of a breeze out here at HE Parker Reserve. At quarter-time, it is the home side, though. The Heathmont Jets, they lead it by one straight kick, 2-1-13 to South Belgrave, 1-1-7. That's one quarter down. There's 3 to go. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast this afternoon on the SEN App, 98.1 Radio Eastern, and, of course, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be back right after this, and we'll bring you all those important scores from around the grounds as you go local for your footy today.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you...
Okay, guys, 3 minutes to go.
Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change, and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? Broke a finger high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Radio's #1 motorsports show is back for 2021. The Driver's Seat with Matt McKeldin and Stephen Johnson, covering everything from Formula 1 to V8 supercars.
Jack Smith from Brad Jones Racing joined us for an honest chat about his season so far.
You know, my teammates have had results and everything's going good, so if I could tell you exactly what it was that I needed to go better, I'd be very, very happy.
That's this week on The Driver's Seat.
Join Caroline Wilson and Corey Perkin for their weekly podcast, Don't Shoot the Messenger, filled with their insights into the latest news and a little sport, good local tips and plenty of recommendations on what they're reading, watching and whipping up in the kitchen.
Events of the past month have revealed a toxic work culture, a government that has tried to bury an alleged rape. These matters are not crusades by feminists, they're matters for the government. They affect all Australians.
I have, as you know, very unusually bad calves for boots. I can't fit into most boots. Well, I'm lying on the bed with my leg in the air so that, all the blood rushes out of my feet.
The ABC's decision to move the Q&A program to a Thursday night.
To borrow a line from
60 seconds.
Call, destructive call, ridiculous call, why did they do a call?
You'll find the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast on the SEN app or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a...
Okay, 30 seconds to go and you'll be live.
Yes! Straight into his pie hole. Yo, beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to HE Parker Reserve, the place we are today for the EFNL game match of the round, and it's Heathmont taking on South Belgrave today, and two sides who are putting their hand up for a finals tilt and also a chance at bringing home the flag. And it's a close game so far. It's 2-1-13 to 1-1-7. Heathmont have the lead, and in this second term it will be South Belgrave kicking with what we see as a decent old breeze. It's not, but it is going across the ground, so it's not like it's really holding up opportunities for teams going towards the Maroondah Highway end, or Canterbury Road end I should say. Move across one, Ben. So we should see some good scoring. There was some fast movement of football as well, guys, in that first term. So, and sides not afraid to take on the play and the switch as well. So really looking forward to what these next three quarters will bring.
I think with South Belgrave, they might have learnt a little bit off Heathmont on how to play and use this win.
Boundary.
Let's cross down to, sorry, Brash, to cut you off, Jared Beanland, who's with Nick Rutley. We've crossed down to you, mate.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've got Nick Rutley, coach of the Heathmont Jets. Nick, how did you see that quarter?
I thought we owned it well, playing our way. Once we started to go long to contests that went shallow, we played into their hands a little bit, and that's how they got their scores. So we need to control the ball a bit more, especially into this little breeze as we get off. And that's the message. Keep the pressure up, keep the layers up. It's been really good, and keep enjoying ourselves.
Have you liked how you've handled the three big forwards for South Belgrave?
Yeah, definitely. They're obviously really, really good players, and they're going to get their moments. And they did that to us in round 2 or 3, I think it was. They were quiet for the majority of the day, and then they really got going. So we're mindful they're good footballers, and they're a really good team. So we can't just think this is going to be the game that we're seeing at the moment throughout the day. They're going to come at us, and we need to be ready for that.
And you had something else to say?
We're wearing black armbands today for Stevie Crichton. We just want to put a lot of emphasis and time into that family and Stevie's friends, and just support and get around him, because he was a great part of the football club and a really important part of the Heatherdale Cricket Club, so our support's around them as a footy club. And also we're wearing cystic fibrosis bands today too, for our Marky Beatson. His son Simo passed away at the young age of 22, played for the football club, which is just really, really sad. He's doing a power of work to raise awareness, and today would have been a cystic fibrosis round. Unfortunately, COVID takes the opportunity away to raise money, but we're trying our best. We're wearing those armbands today, and it sort of makes football pretty insignificant when you think about it. So we're happy to be out here competing, and glad to be talking to you again on the boundary and enjoying what we're doing. So it's a day for a cause, I think.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
What a fantastic wrap-up there by Nick Rutley, taking the focus off the game for a second to talk about what was really important to the football club, and great to see. But let's get back to the game now, and what we do know is that South Belgrave are going to be having a shot on goal, and it's Sam Brown, who's just received a free kick about 25 metres out directly in front. So scores could be level momentarily here.
Maybe inside left.
Yeah, let's see if he's got the angle of the dangle, Brash. As he comes in now, kicks it gun barrel straight over the goal umpire's head. Scores level out here. It only took a minute and a half into the second term to see it get this way. South Belgrave have their second, and like we expect, it's going to be close right throughout. Crosstown boundary to Matt Fodia, who was over listening in on Luke Galliot in South Belgrave.
Sorry for interrupting there, Ryan. Just a couple of updates there. So Lee Odermatt's calf, that was just a cork. He got a cork to the calf, so I think it's just a stinger. He doesn't seem too alarmed by it, but he was sort of just talking through it with the trainer. They were pretty happy with their quarter, and kicking into a strong breeze and only keeping Heathmont to 3 shots on goal. Very happy with that. They probably thought they needed to hit up more leads rather than just trying to kick it over the top for people onto the run. Turnovers, they had 10 of them, so they think that was the main reason that they probably weren't even in front at the end of that quarter. They were dominating the hard ball gets from their stat sheet, so sometimes that can be a bit biased, but that's what they've got on their end. 2 things to watch out on. They're going to change up their style of play, as we've already seen in the opening couple of minutes of this quarter, and they want to try and be very physical. They think Heathmont are quite light, and if they can just bruise them up in these first 2 or 3 quarters, they'll run out of gas by the end.
Thanks, Matty. As Treguard gets the ball out of the middle, knocked down into the contest, and they have a bit of pressure. Nice little ball there from Bartels. Now that's Treguard again, gets it out wide. Nice kick down the line there from Forbes. In fact, it wasn't a nice kick because it's been cut off as Heathmont go forward. Bouncing inside 50. Can they get hands to it? That's a high tackle. Absolutely it is. It was Silver who copped one round the mush, and he will have a free kick just inside defensive 50, goes out wide, trying to find a target. Nice kick through the hands, though, there of Forbes. No excuses for bad handling today as the ball goes down to about half forward, and it's in the hands now of Brown. He turns around and bangs it forward, trying to find Garner, who's, in fact, he lost it. He got out muscled there. Good work by his opposite, and they'll work it out, but it's going to come actually straight back because it's in the hands now of Withers. But in fact, it's it's a turnover fest. The ball just going from one side to the other at the moment. Thump down the line, up they go, and it's Treguard. Takes a good mark. Just on the far forward line, drills it for a beautiful kick, and that's straight into the hands. I think that might be Garner there, or just wait till he turns around. No, in fact, it's Kidd. He's having an absolutely storming game today. That was a beautiful kick, Brash.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And they've started really well in this second quarter here, South Belgrave. They've kept the ball going into their inside 50 as well, taken the wind out of it a bit.
It is Tim Smith. So here he comes, looking for yet another goal this year to add to the 32 that he's already kicked, and he's put it through. Beautiful kick from Tim Smith. He knows where the big sticks are, and that's his first of the day, so 33 for the season. And the first goal of the second quarter goes the way of South Belgrave. They lead 3-1-19 to 2-1-13 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Just an update from around the ground, boys. Division 2, Mulgrave lead Boronia 5-3-33 to 2-3-15. Division 3, East Burwood 2-5-17 lead Warrandyte 1-1-7. In Division 4, Coldstream out of the gates early 6-4-40 to Churnside Park, yet to score. Ooh. Forest Hill 0 goals 1-1 to Sylvan 2-3-15 in a must-win game for the Cats. Croydon North Emlock 2-3-15 lead Kilsyth to just the 5 behinds. And Surrey Park 4-3-27 lead Nuttawading 6 behinds.
Thank you very much there, Ryan.
Ball back in the middle. The Saints have the lead. as it'll be Treegart and Brown going up after it. Brown got the knockdown and a little flick forward there by Stevens to no advantage though, so a chance once again for South Belgrave to go after it, but fantastic work, and what a great chase was Molino and he feels like all of a sudden he's got a bit of cramp, so the poor guy can't walk at the moment. He's have to just throw the ball away. So
he might have pulled a muscle here.
Yeah, he's done something, hasn't he? As it goes into the forward arc, about 20 metres out from goal, just as easy as you like. It was all in slow motion in the end. Jed Hansen picked it up and just went plonk. Thanks very much. There's the answer that Heathmont were after. Scores a level once again as we hit the 5.5 minute mark of the second term.
Might be like this all afternoon. Both sides, it's almost like who's going to get that moment, that 10-minute patch that could be the difference between being 3 and 4 goals up.
So maybe a little bit of gamesmanship there, faking the injury, and of course the opposition stands still and you get a quick goal, but I don't think so. We won't.
Someone take the lollies away from Brash.
So we're back in the middle. Scores locked up again. Not a high-scoring game, but certainly an entertaining one so far out here at H.E. Parker Reserve. Umpire throws it up. Up they go. Finn Brown spending a bit of time in the ruck today. Knocks it down. Now Heath might get it forward again, but it's a scrubby old kick. Picked up nicely there by Silva. And they get it forward back to South Belgrave going towards the 50 arc.
Good mark.
Beautiful mark taken back there by Van Leeuwen. He's been good today.
Boundary.
As we go boundary side with Jared.
Yeah, Molino's all good. Seems like it was just cramp.
Thanks, Jared. That's not a best of kicks, but it might be turned into something over there by Haynes, but he can't keep it, and he's been good as well. And the ball out of bounds on that far side, just around about the half-back line, 19 apiece. Out here at the H.E. Parker Reserve. So umpire to throw it back in. There's kid number 5. He's been colossal for South Belgrave today, just lurking around, looking for another possession. As the ball goes in, trying to work his way to the front spot was Treegart. He did well, but that won't be cleared. And taken on the grounds. And we'll have a ball up, and that's Costa with the football. So still locked up here at H.E. Parker Reserve. The umpire throws it up again. Treegart, in fact, Brown might have got the knockout that time. Nicely picked up there by McDonald. As the ball comes infield, it's batted forward. Here's a chance for South Belgrave. Going without it there was Brown. And it's all a bit untidy. Comes back now. Here's a chance. Here's Kidd again. Goes to the half-forward line and he finds a target. That's a beautiful little kick. He just looked up. A little bit of instinct there, really. There was plenty of people around him. And Forbes has taken the mark. And you'd expect him to kick this from a pretty handy position.
Gee, that was well done there by Bartels to extricate that ball out of that scrimmage.
So the only tricky thing about kicking today is this breeze, which we haven't quite got our heads around. In fact, it's Garner. It is Garner that took the mark.
Ex-Roval boy.
Former Hawk.
Garner. Nice deliberate approach. There's
Look at
the
that.
kick. It's beautifully struck, and Garner puts it straight over the goal umpire's head. He's had a very good season as well. It's his 22nd goal for 2000.
That kick was beautiful.
2021, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, South Belgrave back in front again. It's a topsy-turvy contest. 4-1-25 plays 3-1-19.
3 goals to 1 early in this quarter here. See South Belgrave, even though they're a goal in front, they look like they're just starting to take control of the midfield.
Great to see everybody's got that healthy feel about them today. A lot of people out, getting their exercise and stopping past the ground as it comes in now. Black trapped the football. He was brought to ground that time by Stevens. I said play on. It's the Saints though with the numbers, and they switched the ball out wide, and here's Walls who'll take off here. He had a bounce, probably didn't need to do so, but pokes the ball inside forward 50, looking for Garner, who got nudged out of it in the end. He wanted the free kick. The umpire said, "You're not tricking me, Sonny Jim."
I think he had a case.
No, it was Tiggy Touchwood. He played for it as a good arm, good solid arm over the fence. Sees the ball back in the arms of the boundary umpire, and we'll have a ball in about 25 metres, 30 metres out from South Belgrave's goal. So it'll be Smith going up that time, got the palm down, but it was nicely done there by Evans, the big man, who got the handball away. The quick kick out of the danger zone goes straight down the throat of Silva, who spears the ball inside. He was looking for Odermatt. It was knocked away from him. Black was in there. He had support there from Kidd. Kidd quickly wrapped up. That's Aiden, and we will have a ball up. It's true centre half forward here.
South Belgrave have really ramped up the intensity on the contest in this quarter.
So the umpire throws it up. They might get a chance to get it out here. Little toe poke off the ground that time there by Withers. The kick goes goalward and sees it through for one behind. So quick bit of play there by the Saints. Stretch their lead out here by 1 point. So it's out to 7. 19 plays 26. We've gone 10 minutes in the second term.
Bit of a dangerous 5 minutes here for Heathmont. I know it's only 7 points, but with the wind and South Belgrave kicking 3 goals to 1 this early in this second quarter, it is a bit of a worry that this could blow out.
Yeah, well said, Ryan. Very good point as we wait for the ball to be returned for the umpteenth time today. A couple of extra balls wouldn't go amiss at each end, but I suppose that at all costs.
Good old Manhattan Hotel sign behind the goals. Gotta love the hat.
So finally Joel Burley does get the ball back and he will send it back into play. Not a lot of urgency, but now he goes for a run, hoists it high as the wind gets up again, and you can see the ball hanging up in the wind. Treeguard almost got it, but it goes to ground. That might be holding the ball now. The umpire says it was okay, came out in the tackle. On the ground they go.
Not high though? Ripped his head off.
And the umpire, what have we got here? A free kick?
No.
No, just another ball up. Did look a bit high. Up it goes again. Here's the tap down from Evans this time for Heathmont, but nicely roved by Kidd. Kidd gets it inside 50, but it's a little overcooked. Odomet ran past it. Now it's on the ground. Pressure on the Heathmont defence here. Nicely done by Stevens. Gets it as a little ball over the top to Burley. And they'll switch the play. Heathmont, it's a dangerous kick though, but they'll get away with it. And Merritt takes the mark in the opposite pocket. It looked dicey for a moment, but they knew what they were doing. Heathmont, good play. So Merritt hoists it out towards the half-back flank, trying to get a hand on it there. That looked like almost a hold. It was Quirk, it was, who...
It's a good result. They didn't have much going forward on this side of the wing.
No, they did not.
So out of bounds, as we'll have a throw in. Tough game to call this one, even at this early stage. It's 7 points at the moment, but you get the feeling it's going to be touch and go all afternoon. Finally the ball comes in, nice tap out there from Evans, goes to ground but they can't clear it, and it'll be, in fact they do clear it, it comes out there nicely and it's worked away as Burley, Ryan Burley on the ground. He was terrific last time we saw Heathmont play, and we'll have another ball up. So Declan Forbes just hovering around there. In fact, he finished up being in the ruck, but he was a bit out-muscled that time. Good work there. Cries of holding the ball as I think it was Savoury went to ground. Now it's in the hands there of Molino. It's a funny old kick and they've turned it over. So South Belgrave can get it. Wakefield went without it. And the umpire says we'll come back for a free kick. So it's going to be paid to Wakefield. Well, they copped one around the mush there, I think.
Put his head over it. Good courage.
Wakefield. He'll go down the line here, trying to find a target. It's not a bad kick. That playing for the free kick there big time was Connolly, but there was no push through and the ball goes out of bounds and we'll have a throw in.
At the moment, South Belgrave have got the game where they want it, on their terms.
Well, Heathmont have barely gone forward, to be honest.
No, they haven't.
Gone 13 minutes into this second term. So Evans in the front spot, Robertson over the back, got a really good tap on that one, and they might link up in through here. Handball by Withers, got it to Kidd. Kidd goes inside forward 50, a beautiful knock away that time. It was just in the nick of time as well as it comes out. Here's Milovovic, he kicks the ball inside forward 50, deep into the forward pocket. The umpire says play on. Running across there was Brown, he was trying to keep it alive.
I think we've got an injury here.
Boundary.
Cross down boundary side to Jared.
Well,
Beelan.
we'll get to the injury soon, but it was Wade Van Leeuwen who had the clutch spoil there in the end. He's had a couple of very good moments in this quarter.
Well, we'll be back soon for that injury as it comes in now, barging his way through. Brown got the handball away. Oh, that is just really, really good football, and they just couldn't finish it off. South Belgrave are almost looking for a highlight play of the day type styles there, but nonetheless, go back to the drawing board. 14 minutes gone in this second term. 4-3-27 to 3-1-19.
Looks to be that shoulder, Smith.
Yeah, it might be a sting. Hopefully it's just a stinger, but tell you what, he clutched it as soon as he felt the contact.
Certainly did. Kick comes in now. Van Leeuwen goes out wide. Spots up his teammate there in McDonald.
I think it's been Brown.
Brown, sorry, I should say.
Can't miss that man bun, BWS.
Can't. Well, you can't. You definitely can't, and I'm jealous.
Me too.
He's Hanson. On the right. Beautiful kick by Hansen into towards the middle, and Osborne going back with the flight. Took a courage mark there. Probably a little bit too slow to get up, though, if you ask me, and now he's been pinged. So he goes, he let himself down there. It was a great mark, but then just needed to be faster with moving it on here, and that's something that South Belgrave have been really good at doing as well. As the kick goes up towards the half-forward line, Brown, who really presents when he's needed, and he kicks the ball absolutely centimetre perfect. That was fantastic kick, and the mark has been taken only about 25 metres out to Garner, who will go back and probably kick this one, back to Roeville, based on his last kick, and we'll have a shot. We'll cross down boundary side very shortly, but we'll back in Garner here as he starts his approach. They currently lead it by 8 points, the Saints, so we'll stretch it to a handy 14. Comes in now, very direct approach, leans over it, and like the last one, the goal umpire does not move. Second goal on the board to Garner, and let's cross down boundary side to Jared.
Yeah, he really reminds me of someone like Brody Myerchak. Garner, he floated down towards the defence as Heathmont had the ball, but then completely lost his opponent on the charge back to the forward line to gather that one and kick the goal ultimately.
And just an update on Tim Smith, guys. So I spoke to the trainers. It's the left shoulder, as you correctly noted. It's not dislocated, still in, which is a good sign. He was just holding it very still, obviously not moving it much. They're doing an assessment now, so we'll get an update on it, but not looking too good, but I'll hold my judgment.
Thanks, Matty. Hopefully just a stinger for Smith's perspective and the South Belgrave faithful. They won't want to lose him.
Certainly not this close to finals.
So, ball back at the middle, 14 points the margin now, and the wind is playing a significant role. Whoever's playing to that bottom end of the ground is certainly kicking the majority of the goals, and if it continues like that, South Belgrave will have the wind in the last quarter. It's a very simplistic way of looking at it, but it's the way the game's gone so far. Once again, the umpire just taking an age to get the ball back to the middle. As the ball goes finally up, and it's won by South Belgrave out of the middle, but the tap goes straight. Batting it forward there, trying to get his hands on it, was one of the South Belgrave players, but it's nicely done there and taken away nicely there by Bartels. Bartels slams it onto the boot, getting it to half forward. Mark not taken. Spills away there. Gospel it was. In fact, it was Burley of the Joel variety, on the ground. And we'll have a ball up just outside the forward 50. So you feel the next goal starting to get a little bit important from a Heathmont point of view. It was Robertson who went into the ruck that time.
Free kick
for Heathmont. So that'll give them a bit of a respite.
They need to try and get some momentum back here, Heathmont. Otherwise they could find themselves out of the game very quickly.
Burley copped one almost off the ball then.
So off half-back they come. Here's the kick. Long kick forward. There's that man again who's played particularly well. It's Wakefield, Corey Wakefield. Goes down the line. He's got plenty of space there, and he finds it in Odermatt. Odermatt wheels around onto that trusty left boot. Now he goes to the hot spot, but the mark is going to be taken back there. Beautifully done. I think it's Sheriff, is it? Savoury, sorry. So Savoury, little short kick. Well, that's a dangerous kick, and it's been lost, but there may be that's a soft free kick. I'm sorry, that really is
I'm going to say it was fair.
It was pretty touch 50-50, but we'll give it to Heathmont. The umpire's already done that as the ball goes out wide. Not really in a position to get in there and take it off them as Black can't keep it in. Wallace it was, in fact.
He almost held it, but it was just that last chop of the arms. And if it went the other way...
Yeah, it was 50-50.
One of those ones that whoever you go for, you say it was...
You say it was unlucky, yeah. Probably cool. So, ball comes in. It's won by Heathmont out of the middle. It was Evans who got the tap that time. Now Heathmont, can they go forward? Funny little kick, but it's going to be cut off there by Hudson, but he overran it. Trying to get it there was Silver, and we'll have another ball up as the ball goes to ground. Plenty of Heathmont defenders in there. So still a tight go, even though South Belgrave have got it out to 14 points. As the ball goes up they fly. Easily won there by Robertson out of the middle. Nice work there by Kidd. He's had a storming game for South Belgrave. Trying to pick it up there was Wallace. We had a whistle, but we're going to play on for the moment as Heathmont go forward for one of the few times in this quarter. Can they hit a target? Beautiful. Yes, they can. Bajramov again. He's having a storming game, and he comes forward and takes a great mark. And this will be very timely. He's kicked one so far today, and they could do with a second here.
It's a must kick. They don't get too many opportunities going down this end of the field, especially with that wind. So they've done well. If he kicks this, that's 2 goals from about 3 or 4 inside 50s.
He's looked a really good player, this boy. He's really caught my eye this afternoon as he comes in. Having given him the wrap, he'll probably miss it, but here we go. Bajramov looking for his second of the day, and he's got it. You can tell by the crowd, so Bajramov puts it through. And a much-needed goal to Heathmont. That'll make them feel a whole lot happier on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. That margin is back to 8 points. It's 5-3-33 South Belgrave, leading Heathmont 4-1-25 as we go boundary side with Matt Fodio.
Yeah, update on Tim Smith. So they've just run off and got some ice from inside, and they're applying that to the left shoulder. I've tried to get the old signal to see if he's done for the day. The trainer, she's given me the 95% he's done. She didn't look like she had the authority to rule him out, but ice on the shoulder is usually a bad sign for returning, so I think Tim Smith's done for the day.
Yeah, I think you can pretty much
back yourself in, Matt.
Back yourself in that one.
Pye throws it up now. Got an 8-point margin, and Heathmont chance to go forward again. Standing in front. I'll tell you what a ripping mark that was, taken by Young, who's going to take off now and kick the ball in towards Bajramov. And comes out in front, takes the lace out. So he'll have a ping from 45 metres right in front of us here in the grandstand.
So, well, this will be if he kicks this will be a really good goal because the wind's still a little bit fluky.
So, Bajramov, it's kick 2.
And we got the perfect view here.
To be the leading goal kicker on the ground, because Garner has 2 at the other end. Comes in now, starts it right, it's going to fade right as well, it'll even stay in play, and good defensive fist over for a rush behind by the South Belgrave defenders. Sees it through. We're into time on here in the second term. 7-point margin. South Belgrave leading 33-26, Besto. So
South Belgrave thump it down the line. Long kick forward. Beautiful mark. Odermatt takes a mark in the middle of the ground, and he might get 25. Absolutely it was. And so unnecessary there. It was Savoury that just caught him as he tried to play on quickly. Let's watch the replay, but I'm sure it was Savoury that just collected him as he tried to turn and go. It was, and the umpire says we'll have 25 metres, so...
Guessing he's going to watch that mark at least 50 times.
So here he comes, Odermatt. He puts it onto the boot. It's not going to have the distance. It's going to pull up in the goal square as they fly high. Ball goes to ground. Can someone crumb it on the ground? There was Carroll, I think it was. And it'll be wrapped up as we go boundary side with Matt Fodio.
Yeah, Ryan noted that Heathmont had probably had 5 minutes of dominance there and tried to get 2 goals on the board. It happened to coincide when Liam Kidd was off the ground. So I reckon every time he's on the ground, South Belgrave have a dominating possession. So
up it goes again. It's won by Heathmont, but I think there was a whistle there, and we'll have a free kick going the way of the defending side, you would imagine. And it is.
Campbell, he's done well, I reckon. Campbell for Heathmont. He's made a presence in every contest this afternoon.
Certainly has. This guy's played all right too. Haynes, just across the half-back line as he goes for a bit of a run. Going to switch it back to the other side. Not a lot to go forward to, and he finds his target over there, but they've got to go forward. It's a nice little transfer, and off goes Van Leeuwen. He's played all right too as he slams it down the ground to about half forward. Centre wing as the ball goes through the hands of Young on the ground there, but they've won it again with Van Leeuwen, but he won't get that clear, and it'll be wrapped up in there. The South Belgrave player on top of it, and that's Declan Forbes, and the umpire says we'll have a ball up. So we've had 23 minutes gone. And this would be huge if Heathmont could pinch a late one here. Up it goes. And I'll be aware of that as Robertson does some good work in the ruck again. He's been good as the ball comes out, and we've got a whistle. But it's play on for the moment, and here's Heathmont going forward now. There's the kick inside 50. Bajramov, is that a free kick?
Got a hold. It's holding.
Yes, he's paid it. Has he paid it?
Yeah,
he has. He has paid. That certainly looked like it from where we were sitting. As the kick came in, it was a beauty, and you can just watch Bajramov as he came forward, and he definitely got a nudge in the back. And this is an easier kick than the one that he missed just a couple of minutes ago, although no kick, as we said, is easy today, and this will be huge if this goes through.
So Castledine, he was just that half a metre behind him and just had the left arm on the jumper in the lead up to the ball coming in then. So, look, it's not huge, but it's there. It's the letter of the law.
Doesn't go for it, Bajramov. He puts the short kick in there, and the South Belgrave defence is asleep. And Ryan Young has taken a mark, and this is a much better. This will be a much easier kick. That really is poor.
It's almost like he telegraphed that one.
It certainly was.
You just run into that little space there, Youngie, and I'll kick it to you.
It's just his distance.
So Young, just to get it back to a 1-point game in the shadows of half-time. 24 and a half minutes paid. Here's the kick. How's he struck it? It's there. Beautiful kick. And the margin is back to a point, so Young puts it through, and we've got a game on our hands out here. The margin back to 1 point on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's South Belgrave 5-3-33 to Heathmont's 5-2-32.
Excellent last 5 minutes here by Heathmont to arrest the momentum back their way, and 2 or 3 quick goals sees them only a point down.
Starts in the middle, doesn't it?
Yep.
They're starting to get their hands on the footy in the clearances and getting a bit more run. They looked a bit stagnant. They're sort of just kicking it to up the line and not really hitting any targets.
So the umpire throws it up, a big jump and fly there by Robertson, who went after his own ball again, but Burley got the handball away to his teammate, and then they went out towards the wing position where Quirk just couldn't quite trap it in the nick of time. Strong tackle there by Declan Forbes, and we will see a ball up. By waste no time either. Big flick over the back there by Robertson. It was clever, but went to Kidd, who was quickly met by 3 Jets.
Got to say, BWs, it's the game's really tightened up again, but I tell you another thing, that smell coming...
Boundary.
Wouldn't mind some roast heifer at half-time, I'll tell you.
Umpire throws it up, and it comes out towards that Merritt direction. Somehow got boot to ball, and in the end it might work out okay for them, but the Saints had the numbers. Wall's got the handball, and the 1-2 came back from Milovovic as they go down the wing position, moving the ball quickly and wasting no time. The kick went over the top there of Black's head. This might work favourably for the Jets, and they've got to go the closest way home. Out in front is Barjramov.
Oh,
he just knows how to read the play, doesn't he? You can't beat him one-on-one. Evans is screaming for it, the big man in the forward arc. Short pass was on that time by Barjramov. He couldn't quite hit up the target, and falling over at the crucial stage was Haynes, who's disappointed in his efforts. Let's cross down boundary side.
Just a couple of round-to-ground scores, guys. So East Belwood are ramming home their advantage, according to our man Davis Harrigan. They're up by 38 points over Warrandyte, and Sylvan leads 6-5-41 to Forest Hill 1-1-7.
To bring the ball back into play now. Keep those scores coming through. Plenty of great games as you go local for your footy today. 27 minutes almost tick over. You can see Luke Galliot going, "Are you kidding me, mate? That's on the full every day of the week." Probably agree with it. As the kick goes up towards the half-forward line for the Jets this time, the big fly over the back there by Young, and that is the free kick going to South Belgrave, but I'll tell you what, not sure what for. Call it how we see it here. It'll be Castledine, short pass in the middle. Here's an opportunity for him. A little bit too slow was Kidd this time. The Aiden variety got the handball away to the run of Darcy Walls, who dumps it inside forward 50. Garner went for the fly. He wanted to beat Odermatt's Specky from earlier, and he's given away a free kick. Burley, that's Joel, switches it out wide. Might just slow things right down on the eve of half-time out here at H.E. Parker Reserve, and the Jets have done a good job to bring themselves back into this contest after a solid 20 minutes by South Belgrave had them dominating play, you would think, and now all of a sudden the last 10 minutes it's been Heathmont. So here's Jakey Sheriff on the right boot. He let himself down with the disposal there. Makes it really tough this time for Merritt to trap it, who went over the boundary line, and just a little bit of friendly advice from the opposing dugout as he hands the ball back to the boundary umpire to throw the ball back in out here. Who's it? In no hurry. And brings it in now. Brown, front spot. Knocked down, Black overran it. Merritt was in there. Quickly trapped as well. Umpire ball this one up. Starts the players to spread out. Rucks go at it, and then trapped out of there by Kidd, who
I reckon that's holding the ball.
And he held it up as if he was claiming a mark almost. But a free kick going the way of Ryan Burley, who's looking towards the centre. This way, that way. He's going to go backwards. So certainly not afraid to play the switch. Zambrose, bring it back to Sheriff. Sheriff goes out wide to Brown, and that's 2 in a row for Jakey Sheriff at ordinary kicks. So it'll be Brown now of the
South Belgrave side to bring the ball back in, breaking his way to the front. Garner, that is sensational. He wasn't paid on the third attempt as the siren sounds to announce half time out here. Geez, that would have hurt as well. That was a fair old attempt, and what a game we've seen out here, and it's why we picked it. We're bang on when it comes to the game of the day, and at half time it's a 1-point lead to South Belgrave. 5-3-33 to Heathmont, 5-2-32. Major goal kickers on the ground, 2 to Damien Garner, whilst Ian Bajramov has 2 goals for the Heathmont Jets. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast on the SEN app, Facebook, YouTube, and of course 98.1 Radio Eastern. We'll come back with all the around the ground scores right after this, and of course the second half.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else.
Sorry guys, we were clicking the mouse, but nothing was happening.
Finish it by saying you'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department.
3 minutes.
Away Juan Turner.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or for some people, show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $255 a year on water and energy bills. Save the performance for the stage. Shower shorter. Save water.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Eastland, we believe one day isn't enough to celebrate all that our beautiful mums do. That's why we're celebrating Happy Mother's Days, the festival of love she deserves. From dining to fashion, homewares or a pampering session, Eastland has all your favourite brands ready to spoil mum. And if you need inspiration, check out our online gift guides. Spend $250 and you'll go in the running to win a $50 Eastland gift card till May 8th. T's and C's apply. Find out more at eastland.com.au. Eastland, live real.
Okay, 60 seconds to go.
Banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Juan Turner.
The senior coach has...
Okay, 30 seconds coming up and mics will be on.
This kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. Yo, beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to HE Parker Reserve, ladies and gentlemen, for this Division 2 clash between Heathmont and South Belgrave. And at the moment, it's South Belgrave 5-3-33, leading Heathmont 5-2-32 at half-time. Interesting game, that one. Barjamov for Heathmont has 2. Damien Gardner for South Belgrave has 2. Singles all around. Matthew Bodie here, joined by Ryan Long and Jared Beanland. Ryan, what have you seen from that first half here, mate, up in the nice little privileged seats you've got up?
Yeah, no, it was interesting. I thought about 10, 15 minutes into that second quarter, South Belgrave were almost about to blow that out to a 5-6 goal lead at half-time. They just kept winning the ball from the middle, and they set up quite well to stop Heathmont from having any sort of run from half-back coming out. But it was a little bit of a turnaround in that last few minutes, which made the change. And I thought what Heathmont have done quite well in that, when they have had control on that ball in that sort of last bit of that second quarter, is that they put Badramov right back to near the goal square, and they sort of clear it out and let him have a run straight through, straight up the forward 50, and one-on-one he's quite quick for his build, and he's got strong hands, and that's sort of the way they're going to win, if they can get the ball into his hands as much as they can and give him the space to lead up, take marks and kick goals.
Yeah, he's obviously got Castledine quite worried. I'm not sure what other options South Belgrave have to put on him. Perhaps Costa, maybe, but they still need Costa's sort of use from the half-back line, since he's a pretty good kick. What I thought Heathmont have done well is definitely shore up their game around the clearances. Matt, you pointed out how Liam Kidd, when he was off, that was definitely a very poignant period for Heathmont to get back on top.
I'm not saying it's the only reason they got on top, but it was coincidental that Liam Kidd was off and Heathmont happened to have their best 10 minutes of footy.
Yeah, no, that's definitely it's definitely part of it, but it shows that Heathmont have managed, even when Liam Kidd was back on, they have managed to shore themselves up around the clearances.
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually thought South Belgrave played a better quarter into the breeze than Heathmont did, but Heathmont managed to kick 3 goals. So I don't know whether that's just accuracy or I know one of the goals seemed to be at a sort of, it was weird because Molino was injured. I think South Belgrave switched off, assuming there would be a bit of a pause, and Hansen kicked the goal, and then Badramov both kicked one and then set up Young. So a bit of individual brilliance. Whereas South Belgrave's first quarter, I thought they were incredibly, you noticed as well, Jared, their team defence was very good. Heathmont only had 3 shots with a pretty strong breeze. Yep. And South Belgrave, they were very methodical the way they moved the ball up from defence. They stayed on the clubroom side of the ground. They kept the ball low, nice short chipping balls, overlap handball, trying to make sure that they didn't bomb it long to suit the Heathmont defenders. And that's what Heathmont did wrong for the first 15-20 minutes of that second quarter. They kept going long and high. We saw Joel Burley take a kick out and turn it straight over that led to Tim Smith's goal. There's been a couple other instances where they've tried to bomb it into the breeze, it's holding up, and then any team defence nowadays, the way people play footy, that as soon as it hovers in the air, usually there's more defenders than attackers. So I think that last 10 minutes, they both, got first hands on the clearances, so there was less chance for South Belgrave to set up, but also they used the ball a bit smarter. They lowered their eyes. So they didn't exactly hit all their targets. Jake Sheriff had a bit of a horrible 3-minute period, but I think they started to get it, and South Belgrave probably didn't put them away. So I think this next quarter, I know it's a cliche, I think it's just the way this game's panning out, that I think Heathmont need to be up by about 3 goals. Obviously, Tim Smith being out helps their chances. There's one less forward to worry about, but Heathmont I think they need to be more, they need to make the most of this win, because I think South Belgrave's midfield dominance is going to wear on them.
Well, I think... Yep. Sorry, Jared. Yeah, no, that's right. Well, I think Tim Smith being out is pretty... that could be pretty important, given Harry Isaacs was the one playing on him. He was the one who got given best on ground for the Jets back in the Ringwood
against
match.
Ringwood.
Yeah. And that was him playing along the half-back line, where he didn't seem to have an opponent that he matched up against, strictly. So if they've got Harry Isaacs free roaming around the half-back line, that could be very dangerous for South Belgrave to contend with.
Yeah, and just what you're saying, Matt, I do think they do need to be about 3 or 4 goals up at about 3/4 time to have really any chance. If this win sort of holds up in that direction, going that way, if you remember last time these teams played, not sure about the win that day, but South Belgrave came home and kicked 7 goals to none.
Yeah, they were down at every
quarter,
change, weren't they?
I would back South Belgrave to have the legs, even without Tim Smith up forward, have the options up forward to still be able to kick a fair amount of majors in the last quarter to get up if they're within striking range, and I think they will be. I think that's sort of the way they're going. I think South Belgrave can keep Heathmont, like in that first quarter. Their backline setup is quite quite strong that they're not letting them have too many set shots in front of goal when in that first quarter when they'll go in that direction. So I think for Heathmont, they need to keep that forward 50 open and give Badgermov every chance he can to lead up the ball.
Absolutely. A few scores before we go to a break and bring you the second half of action. In Division 2, the only scores we've got coming through other than this one, Mulgrave lead Baronia by 19 points at half-time, and Templestowe trailed the Basin by 22 points. In Division 3, Fair Park 38, trail Waverley Blues 95, Whitehorse 28, trail Scoresby 50, and East Burwood 47, lead Warrandyte 29, so Warrandyte kicked the last 3. And then in Division 4, Coldstream lead by 58 points over Churnside, Croydon North lead by 31 points over Kilsyth, the Nuttawading trail Surrey Park by 28, and Sylvan lead Forest Hill 55 to 16. So the dream's on.
Keeps their
for the
alive,
Cats.
doesn't
The
it?
dream's on. All right, on the other side of this break, it's going to be the second half of this massive game between Heathmont and South Belgrave.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation.
Okay, we've got 3 minutes to go.
Like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Radio's #1 motorsport show is back for 2021. The Driver's Seat with Matt McKeldin and Stephen Johnson, covering everything from Formula 1 to V8 supercars.
Jack Smith from Brad Jones Racing joined us for an honest chat about his season so far.
You know, my teammates have had results and everything's going good, so if I could tell you exactly what it was that I needed to go better, I'd be very, very happy.
That's this week on The Driver's Seat.
Join Caroline Wilson and Corey Perkin for their weekly podcast, Don't Shoot the Messenger, filled with their insights into the latest news and a little sport, good local tips, and plenty of recommendations on what they're reading, watching, and whipping up in the kitchen.
Events of the past month have revealed a toxic work culture, a government that has tried to bury an alleged rape. These matters are not crusades by feminists, they're matters for the government. They affect all Australians.
I have, as you know, very unusually bad calves for boots. I can't fit into most boots. Well, I'm lying on the bed with my leg in the air so that, you know, all the blood rushes out of my feet.
The ABC's decision to move the Q&A program to a Thursday night.
60 seconds to go.
Bad call, destructive call, ridiculous call. Why did they do a call?
You'll find the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast on the SEN app or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. Yo, beauty! Good form, boys.
30 seconds.
For moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set for a pretty interesting third quarter out here at the HE Parker Reserve. It's a point of difference in that second quarter, really. Heathmont came back into the game big time on the back of Barajimov, who got on a couple towards the end of that quarter, and we're back to a 1 point margin. So as we go around the panel very quickly to get some thoughts before the third quarter gets underway, and we'll go to Ryan Long. Ryan, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think South Belgrave still from here. I thought the majority of that second quarter, they look like the better side when they're moving the ball forward. They've still got, I know Tim Smith, we're looking at, probably won't return today, but I think they've still got enough targets up forward. I think even in that second quarter, he wasn't the main guy at the moment. So I think they've just got to start winning the ball back in the middle again, because that's what they were doing early on. And about Heathmont, I just think they need to be at least 3 or 4 goals up at three-quarter time if this win holds up in the last quarter to have really any chance of finishing strong and being able to hold off South Belgrave.
I agree with that, and I think Heathmont are going to start using the ball a lot better when they're moving it into their inside 50. They need to spot the targets and try and kick a little bit more to position, Brett.
Absolutely. Just talking about Tim Smith, as I was coming back up from having a break at halftime, he was walking around behind the sheds and he had, I think, a trainer with him, and he looked pretty dejected. So I think it's probably fair to assume that he's out of the game.
Yeah.
But as you know, as Ryan said, there are plenty of other targets up there, and they've got other options. So they are fortunate in that particular area of the game.
I think the other thing is too, Barsmarov obviously is the danger player for Heathmont. And Castledines had the job on him. Does Luke Elliott still keep the faith and keep Castledine on him, Ryan?
I'm not sure. I think the bigger concern is having so much space in front of him that he can lead up to the ball, because that's where he's been caught behind. And if they can get just get some numbers to be able to maybe push in front, cover up the hole, just because that one-on-one leading up to the ball, he's very quick for the build that he's got, and he's got strong hands, and that's the dangerous thing, that with a forward 50 with so much space, that's where he's most dangerous.
Yeah, his leading patterns are outstanding, and he's got on the end of a couple, and he's left his opponent for dead on a couple of occasions, so you sort of wonder if he's that good on that, whether it really matters who they put on him, but it's certainly going to be something for consideration, I would say.
I would say Luke Elliott, even though he'd be happy that they hold a 1 point lead, he'd probably be a little disappointed, Besto, because for 20 minutes of that second quarter they were on top, and they were staring at probably a 3 or 4 goal lead.
Yeah, without doubt. Like, Heathmont got those couple of goals late in the term to Bajramov, but before that, I was sitting here thinking this game just about might be over. It was out to about a 3-goal margin, and it was just teetering, and you felt if South Belgrave had got the next one or the next couple, that it would have been all over. But to Heathmont's credit, they fought back.
And I think Luke let them just reminded the players about that in the rooms at half time. So it was from what I heard, it was pretty measured speech, but nonetheless it was direct to the point.
So just waiting for things to get back underway. Once again, this win's going to play a significant factor. South Belgrave, as we said, will have it behind them in the last quarter. So that could be quite interesting as the ball comes back into the middle and we're getting underway for the third time up. They go. Nice one there by Trugart, should I say, out of the middle. The ball goes to ground. Heavy tackle. And on the bottom of that is Kidd. He's been superb for South Belgrave this afternoon. And he wins the free kick. So first goal of this quarter will be important. If Heathmont can get in front, they just might get their gander up, you feel. Here's the long kick forward, looking for a target. Goes to about half forward, out wide, and that'll be another free kick. It's a free kick fest at the start of this third quarter, and it'll go the way of South Belgrave again. They want to get it in quickly, trying to find a target. Smith's not there, but where's Odermatt? Goes right over his head, bouncing across there, and they'll be able to just steady the ship here. Nicely taken by Ambrose back there, looking for a target. He chips it across. Nice call head into the back pocket. Marked by Brown. Brown goes for a run, goes down the line. Beautifully weighted kick, finds Burley over there on the far side. So just slowing it down, Heathmont, playing with the advantage of the wind in this third quarter. So we've talked about it, maybe a 2-3 goal advantage might be the way to go if they hope to win this game. There's the kick down the line. That's a push in the back. I think it was Ryan Burley that got shoved in, and that'll be a free kick to Heathmont. So the Jets
boundary
go forward again as we go down boundary side with Matt Fodia.
Yeah, in terms of the breeze, I was with Ryan about the 3 to 4 goal margin, but it has died off a little bit. I don't know if it'll pick up again, but at the moment it's nowhere near as strong as it was in the first quarter.
Thank you, Matty. So, as we get set for a restart, Ben Warren-Smith. No, he's not here. I thought he was wanted in back beside me, but he's not here yet. So we'll keep going. Long kick forward to half forward. Up they fly. Handball comes back from, and it's on the ground. What have we got this time? Free kick.
Yeah,
which way is it going to go?
Liam Kidd.
Kidd.
Holding the man.
So, Heathmont will be disappointed. They had a chance there, but a timely free kick for South Belgrave, and they'll be able to work their way out of defence here. Low kicks will be the order of the day. You want to kick it into the breezes. We've seen the ball hold up numerous occasions. Goes right over the top of Robertson there. Here's the kick in board. That's a nice kick too. Nicely marked there by Kidd. Kidd goes off for a run. There's the handball away. Now it's in the hands of Declan Forbes. He's caught in the middle of the ground. Great tackle there. That was Savoury. Just a bit slow to react. So Savoury gets the free kick. It's a funny old handball. Goes out wide. Kick down the line from Evans. And the mark is taken now. They go inboard. That's Ryan Burley in the middle of the ground. Quick transfer. Here they come, Heathmont. Long kick forward to full forward. They fly, and one of the Heathmont players went down with a huge hit there, and the ball's gone out of bounds on the far side.
I reckon Van Leeuwen took the wrong option then. He had 10 metres in front of him. He could have run further and kicked the ball long to goal then.
I think it was Bajramov that hit the ground very hard, but he's got up none the worse for wear. So umpire to throw it in. And the ruck contest will be important. Just getting his hand to that one was Robertson. He's been okay in the ruck too as the ball comes out, and that'll be wrapped up, and that'll be a throw surely as it came out there from I think it was McDonald, but the umpire said no play on. Ball goes into the tight stuff and wrapped up nice and tight there by Molino, and we'll have another ball up just outside the 50 metre arc. Still only 1 point in it. So up it goes. Won by South Belgrave out of the middle. Ryan Burley draws a high tackle. And Heathmont, well, they're just continuing to pile on the pressure. Here he is, Ryan Burley. He's taking a bit of time as he just wanders back looking for someone to kick to. Needs to find a target. There he goes. Up they fly for it, but it was going over the back. Black couldn't quite, in fact, it was Wallace. He couldn't quite take it. And it's out of bounds in the forward pocket. But South Belgrave still under enormous pressure at the start of this third quarter. So umpire to throw it in with the cricket nets in the background. Be cricket season before we know it. As the ball goes in. Trying to wrestle his way to the front spot. Good work from Evans. He got the tap. He wasn't in the front spot, but he still got the knockout, and Bajramov is taken on the ground, and that'll be another ball up. So it's a real arm wrestle here at the start of this third quarter. Up it goes. Won by South Belgrave out of the middle. Knocked away. Burley's over there trying to get hands on it. Can't do so. Ball comes back nicely to Smith of the Michael variety. And another whistle.
I know they've got Evans and Brown sharing the ruck duties, but I'm just wondering whether Nick Ruckley can roll the dice here, leave Campbell on the ball, put Finn Brown down at full forward and see if he can take a few grabs and get a couple of goals.
Something certainly to consider, Brash, as the ball goes in. Here's one out of the middle there by Robertson. Now it's out towards the boundary line, getting his hands on it over there. I think it was Van Leeuwen. Now it's on the ground again. Back it comes. Now they've got a chance here, South Belgrave. They haven't had too much to do, but a long kick forward there. But there's nobody at home. And Heathmont will tidy up, and the kick right across the half-back flank, and Heathmont will rebound. That's not a great kick in the middle of the ground. That might be holding the ball. It was Van Leeuwen who went without it, but the umpire said we'll play on as the ball goes out nicely. Picked up there by Brown. Now he's got a bit of time here to turn around. He goes backwards in the hands here of Quirk. Quirk goes forward, gets it over the top, but the wind's going to take it and will blow it out of bounds in the right forward pocket. And the score remains as it did at half-time, just 1 point the difference. 5-3-33 to 5-2-32 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
HG Parker Reserve, also known as Fort Knox, locking all the gates. I couldn't get back up here. I found my way. Umpire to throw the ball back in. Unopposed in the end there was Evans, so was there shepherding off the ball here for the ruckman to go up? I think it was, so Robertson will be the recipient. So just in the defensive arc for the Saints. Still holding that 1 point lead, hugs the boundary and over the boundary line and out.
Bit of a shank, that kick.
Certainly, well, I thought it was going up the full for a minute, but it just pitched inside.
To see Joe Hart-Parker in the club rooms, who stalwart down here at the Heathmont Football Club. We'll handball out wide. Merritt up towards the half forward line. Came out, Kidd, look away handball almost. Scrambling kick in the arms of Brown, who takes the mark and takes off to the races as well. Slams it down Odermatt's throat, who wastes no time. Swings around on the left and hits up Garner, who could almost ping it from here, Damien. 55 metres out. It'd be silly not to back himself, to be honest.
Yeah, left inside goalpost, Damien.
He's going to swing it. Oh, he's tried to be a little bit fancy. This time he's just going to kick it up towards the hot spot, but it might end up okay here as well. Working his way to the front was a big man, Castledine, who got dispossessed. Kidd came in and just picked it up and then picked himself up. Robbie Savoury, though, strong as an ox, brings him right back down to ground level, and we'll have a ball up 20 metres out from the Jets goal line. From the Saints goal line, I should say. By throws it up. Little flick away there by Brown down the throat of Burley. Couldn't get boot to ball. Brown was there too. Laid the tackle, then got the ball out. Somehow here's Odermatt, who got boot to ball. Pushed it wide. Got knocked as he kicked it. So saw it go out of bounds on the full. So be Ambrose, short pass to Sheriff. Sheriff on the right boot, drives it out towards that half back line, and a good mark has been taken out there by Merritt, who put himself under a fair old bit of trouble there. Got the handball back to Burley on the left. He'll square things up, and the mark's been taken. It's crossed down boundary side to Jared.
Yeah, we saw Castledine down in the forward line. He was on Bajramov during the first half. They've moved Ryan Silver onto Bajramov.
Well, just don't kick it near Kidd, because every time you do, he takes the mark, and that's what he did that time. The Saints went forward, but now the Jets get to repel as the driving kick goes up towards the half forward line. It did an old Stephen Milne bounce, and it favoured the Saints this time. So went away from Osborne. South Belgrave scramble a kick up towards the wing position, but it's just all Heathmont at the moment. Here's Ambrose, squares it up into the middle of the ground where the mark has been taken by Merritt. Went right, then came back and then dumped the ball straight down the guts inside forward 50 it goes. Little handball out wide. This workout all right to Young. Young loads up Molino. Can he put it through? He can't. He was 25 out directly in front, and he's shaved the outside of the post, so it's a poster, but it doesn't count. It was missing anyway. And one behind on the board, so he scores level out here. 9 minutes gone into the third term. It's 33 apiece.
So in a low-scoring game, can't miss opportunities like that. They can come back to haunt you. So scores are all tied up. What a game we've got out here at H.E. Parker Reserve. All bets still on at the moment as the kick into the back pocket finds its target in Silver. And Silver goes short, tries to find Connolly. Had it for a moment but lost it. Manages to get it out. They did well actually, and the ball comes out and it's Heathmont who were trying to get their hands on it, and they do. Little ball over to Burley, who's come into it quite well in this third quarter. He hooks one forward. Can they get a mark? Nelly. Ball goes to ground there, and it's going to go out of bounds.
I haven't screamed for 2 months, Brash, and Molino let me down then. I was ready to roll.
Oh. I could tell in the voice.
Warming up the vocal cords. So umpire to throw it in.
I'm sure you'll get another opportunity.
Intriguing match this one as the ball goes in. Won by Heathmont, and on the ground just towed out now. Here's South Belgrave on the rebound. Can they get something going? That's a dangerous ball, and I think it's okay in the end. Brown did well, but then he makes a mess of it, and it goes out of bounds. Wasted opportunity. They looked like they were coming, South Belgrave there. Just little mistakes like that at crucial times can cost you. So 5-3-33 apiece out here at H.E. Parker Reserve. Conditions still pleasant overhead. Bit of rain forecast later, but hopefully it stays away. Ball towards the boundary line, and I think it's Forbes who knocks. In fact, it's Kidd who knocked it out. He's been brilliant for South Belgrave today.
I just love his thirst for the contest, Brett. Liam Kidd.
It's waiting for the ball to come back into play. So the umpire throws it now. We'll give that one to Brown that time. Little handball by Ambrose. It's set up okay here for Osborne, who kicks the ball inside. 450. Bajramov got down, and did he hold it enough? He did. Did he? We've heard a whistle.
Yeah, I doubt it.
We've got
I want to hear
a little bit of chit-chat. A bit of idle chit-chat just to pass the afternoon by. Matt Fodia might have seen things closer.
Yeah, the umpires just said it's bounced. He's calling a ball up. RE, that rain. It's just passing over Horsham at the moment, Besto, so I don't know how you go with your weather maps and how quick that'll get here, but I reckon we might get away with it.
Just in case, I brought a pink umbrella for old time's sake for Matt today on the boundary line. Balls hit the deck and we'll have a ball up.
Got a similar feel to that first quarter where Heathmont controlled a lot of the play but just haven't been able to put it in on the scoreboard.
Yep.
Little knock forward, trying to get through with Stevens. Black was in there too. He was brought to ground by Osborne, who came flying over the top. Kid says, listen here, young fella. Umpire throws it up. Little flick over the back, nicely done there by Evans to advantage. The kick goes out of the defensive zone, out towards Brown, who's had a very good game for South Belgrave. Found Garner, who squared it up, and he hit up the Treegart, the ruckman, who takes off, and there's an up and under kick. He's looking for Odermatt, who overran it in the end. Savory was there to mop up the pieces, got the handball away to Van Leeuwen, who's up the back. He's looking for a target, so he takes off sideways, has 2 bounces, shows a bit of turn about him as well, as he handballed it straight down Quirk's throat and said, here's a hospital handball if ever you've wanted one. And he's brought to ground to pull
What
up
a horrible handball.
That was shocking, isn't it? Yes. Bandages and things to come as well as the ball goes up and up they fly. And a good jump up there from Robertson. Fantastic vertical leap. Knocks it down, and here they come forward against South Belgrave. Can they get a mark inside 50? Almost taken there by Garner through his hands. They've still got a chance, so they hook it back inside the 50-metre line. Goes through the legs. Bit of a... And boss, they're under enormous pressure here, but they managed to just hold on for the moment, Heathmont, as they put a little kick into the middle of the ground, and they're going to get out of it. A little bit fortunate because they were 6s and 7s for a while, but the marker's taken at half back, and they'll be able to just settle it down now. A little kick to about centre wing, beautifully marked over there, taken by Young. So Young just slowing it down. He says we'll just go short down the line here, and hits the target. Or does he? And it's going to be either a free kick or a mark, whichever you prefer. Free kick it looks like. And so Quirk with the ball. Quirk goes in board. Finds Merritt. Merritt goes across. There's been a lot of this sort of play today, just going across the ground. Nice little ball inside. Van Leeuwen's off. Can he find a target? He decides to go out wide, and this is going to be an uncontested mark taken by Black. Can he put it through? He goes into a beautiful kick, and he picks out Aiden Kidd. That's a magnificent piece of play as we go boundary side with Matt Fodio.
That's the first time Heathmont this quarter have actually lowered their eyes going inside forward 50. So much like the first quarter, they've dominated all the play, but have just kept bombing it long. A lot of their forwards are staying deep, and it's taken Ryan Young, who took the mark on half back, to actually provide an option for someone to kick low at. Barjamov, all the tools, they're sitting too deep, and South Belgrave are flooding numbers back, whereas in the second quarter, South Belgrave, Garner, Odermatt, they let up at the footy, so they've just got to make sure that they're lowering their eyes, the Jets.
Kidd's kick, how's it looking? It's there, I think. Yes, he's kicked it.
Ryan Young
puts it through.
No relation.
Ryan Young.
So Heathmont get their noses back in front in this topsy-turvy clash. 6-3-39 plays 5. Who kicked that goal? I thought
Ryan
it was
Young.
Ryan Young.
Okay, so it was Ryan Young. I had Kidd. I'm looking at the wrong team, that's why. So Ryan Young.
And you had Black pass it to him, but it was actually Wallace, the other number 50, mate. So,
don't worry about me.
Turn your blues into blacks and blacks into blues.
I'm just colourblind.
Umpire throws the ball back up now. 6 points to margin. The Jets go forward again. Driving kick towards Barjamov. Out in front. You little beauty. Takes it 30 metres out. And expect him to go back and put this one through. And in that case, it'll be 2 in a minute. Wayne Brasher with a big smile on his face.
Yeah, it is. And you finally got to raise your voice.
So that's the closest way home. The stoppage, bang, straight down the guts. Hope your forwards are in front.
Exactly.
Take the mark, kick the goal. If only it was as easy as that. Barjamov comes in now, and he has pushed it to the left-hand side.
Do you put an extra defender down there, or someone, just a loose defender, or someone to get in front of him? Because that seems to be, again, when he's got plenty of room in front of him.
Yeah. You're
Absolute coach killers, those ones.
On a one-on-one battle, I don't know who you put on him. I think he wins pretty much against anyone.
Well, especially if you're getting the ball.
Boundary.
Crosstown boundary side to Jared Beanland.
They have been trying to put players out in front of Barjamov. However, that was the centre clearance, so it's a 6-6-6. They weren't able to do that straight away.
So someone's just hobbling over there. I think it's, wait till he turns around, it's old mate Treegart, who's played particularly well, but he might have caught one on the ankle there. He's going to be okay, I think. He's got himself set to go back into the ruck contest. Let's see how he jumps. Not terribly well, so we might have to keep an eye on him as the ball comes out. Trying to pick it up there was McDonald on the grounds, and the umpire says, well, ball it up.
Yeah, he's very ginger on that foot.
Yeah, it's funny that this ball up is brought to you by Bourbon Brothers.
So up it goes.
Just getting a little bit of a guest commentary coming in there as the ball up again. 7 points the margin, so it's still very tight. One out of the middle by Treegart on the ground there.
Oh, look out, boys.
Wakefield.
Bruce is coming.
So Wakefield tackled. What have we had? 16, nearly 17 minutes in this quarter. Up it goes. One nicely by Evans. He's been good. Bouncing away there was Brown, but he couldn't quite control it. Still, Heathmont bat it forward as they try and get something going. Ball on the ground there. Wallace it was. He got the handball out. Now a little chip inside 50. Can they get a mark? It's to absolutely nobody in particular. And going back there and doing well was Castledine and sees it over the boundary.
Can't help but feel that Heathmont have had a lot of opportunity here, but I reckon they've wasted possessions here.
Play to bring the ball back into play. In front this time, Robertson.
I think you're gone there, Finn.
I think that'd be pretty stiff on Finn Brown if that happened.
We've seen worse paid.
Big fly that time there by Robertson. Sees a clearing kick out. Safely held across the half back line. So good chance for the Saints here just to load up and kick towards the Odomat direction, who had 2 bites at it, brought to ground. Little handball back. There's a chance for Sheriff, who finally traps the ball, got the handball to Savoury. Savoury linked up okay here. Little chip kick by Haynes, went out towards the Burley direction, whose handball was smothered over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Yeah, Heathmont player down in the just on the wing there, far side.
Yeah, as Besto said, Treegart has hobbled off, as I think that's Sheriff that's hit the deck over there. Matt Fody, boundary side.
Yeah, so Aiden Black came off. He was hobbling a little bit, but he's fine. Trainers left him alone. He's just sitting on the bench grabbing a blow. Treegard's come off. He's pointed around about the bottom of his right glute and upper hamstring. So it'll be interesting to see. He's jumped on the physio table. They're going to work on it. He doesn't seem too alarmed. Might just be a corked hip.
Admittedly, the Heathmont player hasn't moved yet, so that's a bit concerning.
Can we see who that is, Matty, on the ground?
I think it's Jake Sheriff, guys.
Yeah, I think it might be too.
We can't. You guys probably got a better chance. We're on a little bit of a dome here. So he's on the other side of the dome. The stretch is right next to me. So
it's Sheriff. Sheriff. It is Jake Sheriff. So he's looking a little bit worse for wear. So 7-point margin. We've had 90 minutes in this third quarter. He's getting up, Sheriff, but he looks...
it could be the case of the walking wounded by the end of the day.
Yeah, attrition rate could play a big part. I think he's probably going to at least come off for a spell.
Opportunity for both sides just to do a makeshift huddle here.
Yeah.
Just a couple around the ground scores while we get a chance. Mulgrave lead Bronya 8-5-53 to 5-4-34.
No.
What do you mean no?
I didn't think that was going to be happening.
Mixed up your tips for another one, Fresh.
The Hawks finals chances could be done by the end of today.
They could be.
Yep. East Burwood lead Warrandyte 7-5-47 to 4-5-29.
Spider will be happy.
Croydon North Emlock look like they'll have their second win of the season. 7-9-51 to Kilsyth 1-12-18. So inaccuracy at its best.
Told you, Brash.
Be a big night down at Croydon Emlock tonight.
And Sylvan still lead 8-7-55 to Forest Hill 2-4-16. So they need to win every game from the rest of the season to have any chance of finals. So still alive.
Gee, I'm glad I'm not in any official tipping comps. Otherwise, I'm done for.
I tell you what, Jake Sheriff's looking not terribly well. I'd be surprised
if he... It's a concussion, for sure.
Yeah.
Be surprised if he came back on. So even if it is a concussion, he'll have
he's not coming back on.
He's
obligatory 20 minutes anyway.
He can't look up at the moment, guys. He's holding his head. He's wincing. I don't think he'll be coming back off. They're not taking him through the gates either. So
it's him done for the day. So as we talked about, attrition rate starting
update on Treegart though. I apologise if I'm saying that incorrectly. They get the old the quick fire gun. I don't know what they're called. You know, the ones that go really fast. They're the massage guns. That's what they're called. They were pumping that into his right glute. Then he told the physio to go down towards the hamstring. So again, interesting to see what the actual problem is there. Well, Jake's he's conscious, like he's opened his eyes.
Next thing you'd be telling us he's got the magic spray.
Well, they might have the magic spray, Brash. I can go ask. He's all right. He's now joined him on the bench. He's definitely not ruled out.
When he runs back on, ask him how to say his name. The umpire throws the ball back in. Knocked back back towards the paint now. They've kept it alive. Little handball over the top. Burley crunched. Got the handball away. Ambrose just couldn't quite trap it inside the boundary line, and over she goes.
Interesting, isn't it, how class players always emerge when the game's on the line, and Burley just absolutely colossal in this third quarter.
Tell you what, those ice baths are going to get a hammering tonight.
Pye brings the ball back in. Evans and Robertson. Evans one out and then got gang tackled. He might even get pinged here. Yep, he has been holding the ball. So you take on 3 players and you don't get rid of it. What do you expect? He's not happy, but
it's a bit of bad luck.
He'll have to get over it. As the kick goes up towards Odomat direction out in front. Good jukes. So Lee swings around now. He's going to drive the ball forward. The big fly by Smith over the back. Savoury just couldn't quite hold it. Hanson got the handball out. It was picked up though by Forbes. They'll swing around now. South Belgrave kick it right towards the hot spot, but nobody is home. And the Jets have the numbers. This time it's been trapped by Van Leeuwen. Got the timely handball away. His kick was smothered though, Gospel, but he got a second chance at it. Knocked it over to Quirk. They've knocked it pretty close to the boundary line. Van Leeuwen eventually just brought over. And that was certainly enjoyed by...
That was really good pressure there by the South Belgrave forward 50 to lock that ball in.
Umpire right in front. The grandstand here. Evans went up unopposed and got the handball away. Here's Gosball in towards the middle of the ground. Intended target there was Wallace. Was knocked away from him. Kicked inside by Robertson up towards the pocket. But it was well done there by Ambrose, who fell over just at the crucial stage. He got the linking handball up, but it was to the wrong teammate. Bartel's on the left boot. Will it bounce through? No, it won't. Savoury got a fingertipper on it. It nearly bounced over the top of his head, and that would have been some sort of a goal.
Boundary.
But it is back to a 6-point lead out here. 34-40 as Heathmont bring the ball back in and we go boundary side.
Yeah, Caden Black's fine. He's just jogged back onto the ground. Left ankle's all good.
Out towards the wing. Now it was Besto got the little handball away, trying to trap it that time. Castle Dine. Over she goes for a boundary throw-in.
So, ball out of bounds. And we've still got a game to be decided. 23 and a half minutes gone on this third quarter. Heathmont have had a good quarter, but plenty to play for.
It'll be a long one, this one too.
Indeed, with all the injuries that we've had, it's going to be a bit of a war of attrition as the umpire throws it in. And we're on a week his way. It was Evans who got the tap over the top of Robertson that time. I've liked Robertson's game today. I think he's been really good for South Belgrave as the ball goes over the fence on the far side. And we'll have another boundary throw in. In fact, it's a free kick, as you were. So Ryan Burley, he's been really started to come into the game in this third quarter as he gets his kick down to about half forward, trying to find a target. Punched away though. Evans, no, he's not quite quick enough to get there. Van Leeuwen got it, and in fact did really well. Van Leeuwen gets his left foot kick forward. Can they hit a target? Inside 50 they go. It's an awkward kick, and it's bounced into the hands of Basham. Why did he pass it? And he gets a kick away, and in the end it's Brown. Finn Brown it was, he put it through, but I'm not sure why Badger...
No, he needed to, and it was really clever play, because if you see the ball did a wrong-un, and then he had the link-up handball straight away into Brown for a certain goal.
Yeah, I can see it now. Just at the time it looked like he may have been able to go himself, but great awareness by Bajamov. He's had a storming game, and he gives it off to Finn Brown. He puts it through, and that margin suddenly out to a little handy 12-point up, 7-4-46 to 8-4-34 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
For all the dominance that they've had this quarter, that was an important one to get.
They really have had most of the play, I would say. Let's have a ball up. It's almost like we're in slow motion at some points today, isn't it? Is it a big fly that time? No one got it. It was a fresh air shot by Robertson in the end, going up against Evans. Ball hits the deck. Diving over it was Stevens, was in there. Little handball out. Pye said, nah, you had long enough. Give it back. Waiting for players to clear out. We've got 12 points of margin here. Heathmont have the lead. And the chance to get it out of the middle stoppage as it goes up towards the half-forward line. Osborne charges out in front, paddled it to his advantage. Right on his hammer was Phil Costa.
Boundary.
She goes for a boundary throwing, which is where we'll head now.
Yeah, so again, Trigard update. Did a few run-throughs. Looked to be a bit in a little bit of pain. Was wincing slightly. Back on the physio table. Different physio this time. They're working on a different stretch. Still the right leg. This time he's sort of going across, sort of like when you're on your back, you do a hip across stretch. I still think they have no idea what's wrong with him, but he's in a bit of pain.
Well done there, Dr. Fott. As it handball over the top. And well, he nearly took a mark on the physio table there as the kick goes out of bounds on the full. Ball comes back in through Harry Isaacs. He had a little joke with the coaching panel from South Belgrave. As the kick goes in, kicks it right to the hot spot in the end. It almost fell down the throat of Bajramov as a handball by Silva over the top. Got dispossessed. He'll go after it again. Brought to ground. Quick kick out of that danger zone, but nobody's home. Van Leeuwen, handball over the top. Geez, there's a lot of players around the football here. Bouncing football. Comes out now. It's scooped upon. This time by Isaacs. Got it away. Jesus, nothing clean. Give it to Savoury. He'll do something with it. Floats the ball inside forward 50. It came out. Molino around the body. Can't curl enough back. And through it goes for a minor score. 27 minutes tick over in the third term. 13 points is the margin. 7-5-47 Heathmont. 5-4-34 South Belgrave.
So you almost feel like Heathmont are desperate for another goal. It's almost like they feel that they haven't quite done enough in this quarter. We talked about it being a 3-goal lead, maybe at 3/4 time they'd be looking for. Well, it's just short of that at the moment. South Belgrave to bring it back in. It's 13 points. We've had 27 minutes gone out towards the wing. Trying to get his hands on it there was Smith, and we've got a whistle. And it's going to be a free kick to Heathmont. Okay, so it's in the hands of Haynes.
25. Copped one in the breadbasket.
25. This used to be a huge kick if he can slot this through right on the stroke of 3/4 time. So it'll be a long kick. Umpires, or the mark's probably about 3 or 4 metres inside the 50-metre arc plus the angle.
I'm going to say that Michael Smith just told the umpire how it wasn't a free kick.
Pretty good chance. Jordan Haynes goes off the mark and then wheels around, but that's not going to get it done. It's going to go across the face. Up they fly. Mark almost taken there, but it goes through for a point. Could be a handy one. 7-6-48 to 5-4-34. And we're 28.5 minutes into this third term.
I almost think here, if Heathmont can get that goal and get 20 points up, it's going to take a good 10 minutes of football by South Belgrave in the last quarter to arrest that lead.
Good roost by Darcy Walls on the kick out. And it'll be a free kick to Brown, I think. Or it might be Smith he gets one back. So Michael Smith kicks it up towards the wing, almost half forward line. Over the back there, McDonald tried to claim the mark. It was never his to begin with. They got the handball away to Haynes on the ball up towards the half forward line. Over the top there of Osborne's head, the foot race ensues. It's Hudson versus Brown. The little knockout. Keys Ambrose barged his way through, got it to Brown. Brown links up magnificently. Molino over the top, and there's an easy one as you like. That'll get the few people walking through the ground excited, won't it? Taylor Walker gets his second goal of the afternoon, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, the lead is stretched out here. 8-6-54. We've got that 20-point margin Brash was talking about. South Belgrave 5-4-34.
Yeah, very important now, that lead. 20 points. That's 4 kicks for South Belgrave. They might need to pinch one here, Ryan, on the death knock, I reckon.
I was about to say, that one really hurt so close to 3/4 time just to give away, because they were doing pretty well to keep it just the 2 goals to the quarter, but if they can get one back, and at all worst case scenario, they can't give up another one.
So, ball back in the middle. No wonder Heathmont are playing. Apparently they've got Taylor Walker playing for them as the ball goes forward. As the ball socket off the ground. Can they get one late in this term? South Belgrave. Odermatt can't pick it up. Finished up getting a bit of a toe poke towards the boundary. Best result he could probably have is it to go out of bounds. Picked up nicely there, and diving in field there was number 25 Hansen. Gets it forward. It's at about half forward. South Belgrave, you can see they're desperately. That's a terrible hand pass. So straight to Robertson, and this could really be a killer. It goes right over the top, and they may just hang on here. Bajramov, is it? Yes, he's got the ball. Look at his strength. Got it away there. They've got a huge opportunity of Brown, and Brown puts it through. Finn Brown has put it through, and that is just huge from Bajramov. won the ball, got the handball away, and Finn Brown says, thank you very much. And South Belgrave in a bit of trouble, boys.
Boundary.
As we go boundary side.
Yeah, it was a couple of low balls inside the forward 50 for Heathmont that caused those goals. They didn't allow South Belgrave to set their defenders. The first one was Haynes. It didn't quite hit a target. That's what set up the Wallace goal, and that last one there as well, just not allowing South Belgrave to have an answer.
The two South Belgrave players colliding with each other. Suddenly you're down two people in the back line just in that certain passage of play, which really hurts.
Got that off with a handball with just in the nick of time. He did. Could have almost been pinged the other way. Ball in the middle, Burley wrapped up. We'll have a ball up. We said it would be a long quarter given the amount of stoppages and players coming off the field. Probably within the last minute though still, and maybe a chance for South Belgrave to get some momentum before they come home with the breeze as the kick goes towards the Ghana direction. From the standing start, the going goalward out of bounds, no, through for one behind. So, not a score, but it's not the one they were after. As the siren sounds to announce three-quarter time, 26-point margin out here to the home side, the Heathmont Jets. They call it the Premiership quarter, and they certainly came out and played a brand, didn't they, Heathmont, in that third term. And it will be South Belgrave to kick with the breeze in the final quarter. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast on the SEN app. 98.1 Radio Eastern is streaming live across Facebook and YouTube. There's 3 down, there's 1 to go, and of course those important around-the-ground scores to come right after this.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain High.
Okay, we've got 3 minutes to go.
Reducing your shower time, or for some people, show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $255 a year on water and energy bills. Save the performance for the stage. Shower shorter. Save water.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding.
That's right.
At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Eastland, we believe one day isn't enough to celebrate all that our beautiful mums do. That's why we're celebrating Happy Mother's Days, the festival of love she deserves. From dining to fashion, homewares or a pampering session, Eastland has all your favourite brands ready to spoil mum. And if you need inspiration, check out our online gift guides. Spend $250 and you'll go in the running to win a $50 Eastland gift card till May 8th. T's and C's apply. Find out more at eastland.com.au. Eastland, live real.
60 seconds.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
The senior...
Okay, 30 seconds to go and mics will be on.
Only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. You beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Final term about to get underway out here at H.E. Parker Reserve. The magnificent new grandstand up here. Perfect vantage point to call football from, and we're excited about what this last quarter is going to bring, because it is South Belgrave trailing by 25 points. But I tell you what, they will come home with the thunder. They're coming home with the breeze, maybe a little bit of thunder if Besto's right. But I tell you what, I think there's still a lot left in this game, Wayne Brasher.
There is, and I was just going to say to Besto, when I said at the start of the game, are we looking at an old-fashioned game plan again? Get the ball, kick the ball along to the leading forward?
Yeah, well, we talked about it, didn't we? Certainly with the wind. I mean, it makes a big difference when you can just get it and thump it. I mean, we saw it back here. I think we had it on the half-back line and bang, it just went almost from one end to the other with one kick. So that's the sort of thing you can do. But obviously you can't do that into the wind, and it's about possessing the ball, kicking short and trying to work your way, maybe take on the corridor or try something different.
And that seems to be what's happened a lot of the time this afternoon. The side's going this way.
Let's cross down to Matt Fodios with Luke Elliott.
Yeah, g'day guys, with South Belgrave senior coach Luke Elliott. Luke, where do you get the spark from, mate, after that? Just those last 5 or 10 minutes, just the boys probably a bit tired?
Oh, yeah, they were clearly on top of the ground above us of the last sort of 5-10 minutes of the quarter and sort of put us on the back foot. But I think just scoreboard pressure is probably the biggest one, so the spark will come from that if we can. And we'll just chip away and get the first one and see what happens after that.
I think both sides have struggled with the breeze, sort of knowing how to utilise it. What's the key area you guys wanted to use when you're going forward?
Just got to lower the eyes, ball movement, take the game on, run, forward handball, just anything. Just, don't die wondering. That's all, yeah.
And then finally, mate, I guess last time you guys played similar situation, down by about 4 goals at three-quarter time, you ran over the top of them. Do you think that'll help the boys mentally?
I was mentioned briefly, but I just think it was more about the application of that last 10 minutes and how we changed that. So it's quarter by quarter. But we'll see what happens first 5 and we'll go from there.
Cheers, Luke. Good luck.
Well, we're certainly excited for that first 5 minutes. There's no doubt about that as players make their way to position, and shortly we'll hear from Jared Beanland, who was over at the Heathmont huddle, and no doubt they were pretty pumped up, the boys, with Coach Nick Rutley as the umpire holds the ball aloft, and here's Brett Beston to take us away with the final term.
So final quarter, all to play for, 25 points the margin. Up they fly. Nice hit out there by South Belgrave as they get the possession. Kidit was trying to hack it forward, and they do get it forward. They desperately need an early goal here. The Saints taken there nicely by Van Leeuwen. He's been particularly good today. Now it comes out towards Quirk. Just working it out, just taking a bit of time, and also a chip over the top there, and it finds a target in Haynes, just taking, and that might be the way that Heathmont decided to play it. But that's a terrible kick, and Odermatt says thank you very much. It hasn't had the busiest of games today, but he drills a beautiful kick, and the mark is taken, and this might be the early goal they're looking for. Garner, it is.
He's more than capable, Damien Garner. It's a lovely kick.
Yep, 21 goals before today, so he's kicked 2 today, so he's up to 23.
We saw him kick one in almost identical position in the second turn that went goalpost height.
One of Ray Baird's favourites.
Well, this is simply a must kick. This has got to go through if South Belgrade have any chance in this game at all. Here he comes. He'll be kicking from about 50 metres on its way, and I think he's pulled it. He has.
Boundary.
As we go boundary side.
So yeah, I was with Nick Rutley in the huddle. There was a big focus on intensity and something we haven't picked up on, which was blocking around the contest. That was something they were very happy with down at the Jets, and the communication as well. They need to step that up to another level, according to Nick.
So Burley in the back pocket of the Ryan variety goes straight back across to a teammate. And just taking
Robbie Savoury.
Robbie Savoury, chipping it across. Yes, the ball now just once again, just Heathmont trying to control it. That's a lovely kick too, marked at centre wing. South Belgrave won't win the game if they can't get their hands on the footy, and maybe that's going to be Heathmont's play in this last quarter. A little short kick down the line, just a little bit overcooked. No, in fact, it was marked by Burley of the Joel variety this time. Joel wheels around onto his left, goes long inside 50. Coming down just about half forward through the hands, going inside 50. They've got to try and get their hands on this Finn Brown. Finn Brown, brilliant. Can he kick the goal? Finn Brown, he has! That's the one, fantastic goal from Heath. Absolutely, that just might just about be the killer. Finn Brown puts it through. Brilliant play by him. Rove the kick and slammed it through for his second, and that margin is out to 30 points, and it's going to be tough now, boys.
I did say in that third quarter, Brett, that if Finn Brown can get into the game and kick a few goals, it's going to really throw the cat among the pigeons, and he's done exactly that.
Boundary.
Cross down to Matt Fodia.
In terms of the conditions, guys, the winds probably pick up a little bit, so South Belgrave will definitely need to pick up some more now that they're 5 goals down, and the temperature's dropped about 3 degrees, so not looking good for that rain.
Yeah, I'm certainly regretting not bringing the jacket now as the umpire throws it up. And now a chance for Black to go forward. They need the quick answer, do the Saints. And they might get an opportunity here as they link up okay on the left boot. Here's Bartels. He pushed it left, but it's nobody home except for the ever-reliable Murphy Ambrose, who takes the mark and then just pokes it. And it was a nice kick too. Spots up Van Leeuwen. Brett Beston's love child this afternoon as he kicks it out wide to Declan Brown. Brown with the painted left sleeve kicks it up towards the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It was a grubber of a kick out in front. That time there was Osborne, paddled it to his advantage. It was almost Ryan Young got his head knocked off. The umpire said play on. Diving over the top, Osborne, he's giving away a free kick. Liam Kidd will be the recipient, and they might get advantage here through walls. Umpire said no, bring it back. So Kidd. Short passes on. Beautiful spearing pass down the throat of Black, who started on fire and slowed down a little bit, Black, as the kick goes up towards the half-forward line. A good mark and stretch there, and lead by Phil Costa, one of the stalwarts of South Belgrave, who looked one way and then kicked the other way. It was almost a little bit too cute, if you ask me, and he coughed it up, and now it'll be a chance for the Jets through Jordan Haynes just to weigh up his options across the defensive arc for Heathmont. Where they can, they'll probably slow it down whilst they hold such a strong lead, because they know that the first 5 minutes, as Luke Galliot said, were so important to South Belgrave to get some momentum. And Finn Brown, who opened this term with a goal, has the ball and he chips it short, spots up Ryan Burley.
In essence, they can play and control the tempo of the footy for the rest of the afternoon here, Heathmont. Don't have to do anything stupid.
And he was let to go as well to take off on the mark. That's almost unforgivable, that sort of stuff. As the kick goes inside forward 50, mopping it up though was Silva, who squeezed a kick out wide, and it was a good one too. Declan Forbes takes a mark.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. We can see how Heathmont, you've hit it on the head, nail on the head, boys, because they just really are chipping it around, as if to say to South Belgrave, well, you have it all to do.
Good mark.
Brilliant mark taken there by
Costa took the mark.
He puts it through.
And he got it to Brown, who dribbled it home.
Fantastic. Costa took the mark. He got it off to Brown, and that's the goal they needed. So it just gets it back to a 24-point margin. So just as we were talking about, Heathmont maybe shutting the game down, South Belgrave do get their goal as we go boundary side.
During the break, I also got confirmation that Jake Sheriff will be out of the game for the rest of the match with that concussion. They've thrown Caleb Quirk back onto his man Sam Brown, who just kicked that goal.
Just a couple around the grounds at three-quarter time. East Burwood's lead now goes out to 50 points. 12-9-81 to 4-7-31 to Warranite. So that's a handy lead. And Baroni have cut the lead back to 5 points at three-quarter time. Mulgrave still leave 11-12, 78 to 11-7, 73.
I tell you what, it's not only is it a handy lead by East Burwood, but it's a statement today, I believe, as it comes in now. Burley, boot to ball, a chance for Heathmont to get the answer to the answer. And Osborne's in there. He's quickly wrapped up. He's going to be brought to ground. Strong tackle by Milivovic. And we will have a ball up, 25 out from the Jets goal line. 6 minutes tick over on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 24 the margin. Hope you're enjoying it. Little flick over the back. Here's Bailey. Oh, what a sensational tackle by Black. And he's going to be rewarded as well. He started it off and then Walls came in and finished off the job. That's teamwork at its best, and he might just put himself in a bit of trouble here, Walls. But he kicks the ball out towards the wing position. And if you've ever seen a little bit of swift movement with your hips, that was it there. Van Leeuwen and then got the ball into the middle of the ground. Here's Evans, who got the short pass on, and Academy Award. It was more of a Razzie than an Academy Award, that effort there. And Heathmont just weighing up the options. Kick out wide to Savoury, who'll just get the big mid up. And goes out there now, a little flick out the back. He's Quirk. He's put his teammate under a lot of pressure there in Gosbull, who's gang tackle, and in the end, the umpire's not going to give that one away. We'll have a ball up, true centre wing position here, grandstand side, right in between both dugouts. You can feel the tension. And a big fly by Robertson. Geez, he got a fair old leap on him, doesn't he? And then the umpire said, well, Evans, you just stood there and blocked him. So, not the biggest, not really convinced on that one. But I'll tell you what, he would have been all right at high jump, this fella. Jay Robertson got the handball away to Walls. As he kicks it inside 450, Odermatt, but over the back. He's so good. I'm very impressed reliable with Murphy Ambrose today. Certainly my votes. Short pass back. Goes to Van Leeuwen, who we know gets 3 from Besto, as it kicks it out wide. It's good to have a laugh again, as it kicks out towards the Brown direction for Heathmont. And again, they'll just make sure that they hit the targets, and it's the right way to go about it as well. So Wallace has kicked a couple of goals, pokes it over the top. And they'll do it nice and easy. Ryan Young. Just see a couple of the netballers who have finished their game just before they get in the car, having a squizzer. Great relationship between the clubs out here. Kick goes in towards the middle of the ground. A big fly over the back. That was Burley. That was almost a mark, I would have thought. Umpire said no. Little handball out wide. Haynes. Handball up towards the Molino direction. He just had a lot of times, did really well as the handball goes out towards the Wallace direction. And those Yahoos better get told by Dyson Baker just to quieten down. It's almost like he's singing with them as it's across the half back line now, and here's South Belgrave.
So, ball kicked into the middle of the ground. Quirk almost had it, but he lost it. It's still going to be taken there by a teammate, but we've got a whistle for something. A free kick going to be to Quirk.
Holding the man.
It's a free kick to South Belgrave. That's 25 metres as well.
It is, though, because he's passed it. He hasn't passed it directly back to the opponent. He's passed it to his teammate to pass it back. So that's the definition of 25.
So Damien Garner gets an unexpected bonus.
He gets a 25. Take 2. He gets a take 2 from what he had just earlier in the term.
Let's see if he can do the business. This will get it back to, what have we got? 3 goals if he can slot this. It's not an easy kick. It's fair way out. Pretty much straight in front, though. And he'll kick from about 50. How does it look? Bang. He's got it. Beautiful kick. Great kick. Goal umpire did not move. It was arrow straight. And Damien Garner gets his 3rd of the day. And we're back to a 3-goal game on the Bendigo scoreboard. As we go boundary side.
Yeah, so one of the things Luke Elliott and his coaches wanted his team to do was trying to take off the 45 and be creative. You know, they need to do something special to get in front. And the last 2 goals have come from kicks. First one was Declan Forbes. Not sure who that last one was. From the half-back flank back into the centre corridor. That one, they got lucky via a 25-metre penalty. And the other one, they got lucky by a bit of a lucky bounce. But both times they've taken the risk and they've been rewarded.
What does it feel like down there on ground level?
It's a slightly bit more tense. Wind's dying off, which means the rain's probably getting closer for my own personal safety. But it's getting tense. I think Heathmont might have been too obsessed with the holding of the ball possession, and they're inviting pressure, and now South Belgrave are feeding off it. And as Luke said, it was mentioned that they did this to them in round 3 as Brown goes inside forward 50, Ben.
He does indeed. He goes towards the Odermatt direction. Ambrose over the back, big fly, got a fist on it, and over she goes for a boundary throw in.
Look, one of the things BWS I reckon South Belgrave can do is try and find the weakest link in that back 6, and I reckon Quirk is that weakest link. 2 of his decision-making efforts in that quarter led into goals, and he was also part of giving that free kick again away to Damien Garner. So that's where they can exploit him.
Well, it's a shallow throw in the end. But Savoury got it from Evans and thumped it on his boot. It's not uncommon for him to go 40-50 metres. Smith was out in front, gave a little bit of a hug to Ryan Young, and they carried each other over the boundary line. And we'll have
nothing like togetherness, eh?
That's what it's all about.
Let's just share the love.
Brett should be whipping out a vision of Kumbaya soon.
Umpire throws it in. A little bit of holding that time there on Robertson. Umpire wasn't in the right spot to see that as the ball skips out the back, but we'll have a ball up. So it's all gone very quiet all of a sudden out here.
It's tense.
Evans, little flick out the back that time. Goes out to Kidd. Kidd on the left, slams it inside forward 50, and I think it stayed in. Connolly's taken the mark here. And it has gone out of bounds on the full. The boundary umpire was a long way away. He's going to ask for the goal umpire's input to this one because he was probably closer.
Oh, as if the goalie can see it.
Did you see that one, mate? Now we're going back, and we've got the boundary umpires made his way up.
Just make a decision, fellas. Goodness sake.
No, it's hard.
It was. It looked to be out of bounds on the full. I'm pretty sure old mate having a dart in the background agrees. As it on the left boot, kicks it up towards the wing. It was a sloppy kick. It was a floater in the end. Smith almost threw that, but got hand to ball. Withers backwards to Kidd. Kidd an up and under kick. He kicked for the percentage then. Savoury, it slipped through his mitts. He had support there through Merritt, who charged after it. Got dispossessed. Garner on hands and knees, wrapped up nicely by Robbie Savoury, and we'll have a ball up. 45 out from goal.
Hasn't done much wrong today, Robbie Savoury, in that centre half back position.
No, that's it, Brash. As 3 goals is the margin. It's 18 points out here, and it's in the forward line for South Belgrave. Evans again got an unopposed knockout. Went out to Smith. Smith back to Walls. They go inside forward 50. Who's going to be the flyer? Garner in the front spot. He hit the deck, and Odermatt comes charging through. Did it hit his boot and go out of bounds on the full? It certainly did. So it'll be a free kick going the way of Heathmont.
Boundary.
From the back, from the last line of defence, let's go down to Matt Fodia.
Yeah, so around the ground scores, Mulgrave 12-13-85, Bronia 13-8-86, 15 minutes gone last quarter.
Keep a close eye on that one as Murphy Ambrose brings the ball back in.
So Heathmont bring it back in, but the mark is taken. It's been cut off there by number 30,
Connolly.
That's Connolly. Connolly pointing forward, says, get forward, boys. We need to get a mark inside 50. Hoists it high. Can Odermatt get it marked? Beautiful mark. Magnificent from Garner. Odermatt was there, but Garner went over the top of him and took a brilliant two-handed mark, and he will go back and line up for number 4. And this, if it's successful, will get us back to a 2-goal game.
He's in the forward line. He's single-handedly keeping them alive at the moment.
So this is huge. It really is, because we've only got, who knows how long there is to go. We've got 14 minutes played. But this is a massive kick to get it back to a 2-goal game. Here's Garner. Nice slow approach. Here's the kick. And he's got it. Slams it through the big boy Garner, and that's number 4. Started this game with 21 goals for this season. He's now on 25. Even with my poor maths, I can work that out. And they are very much back in this game. It's a 12-point game. Heathmont lead 10-6, 66 to 8-6-54. And boys, what price the next goal?
Well, the Jets can't play just defensive right now. They need another one to hold on, because there's still another 10 or so minutes, so they can't just hold on and hold on to this lead.
Have they gone a bit too defensive early? Because they have been chipping it around almost like they were trying to shut the game down.
It's that possession style of football. They'll chip it around and they'll try and waste time off the clock, but it was way too early. That was 5 minutes into the last quarter when they were doing that.
Well, here they go again. It comes out, the handball just missed the Kidd direction, but he was good enough to get the ball back. Handball out wide. Big one over the top. Here's Carroll. He trapped it eventually, swings around on the left, goes inside forward 50, over the top there of Costa's head. He had his opposing number there in Stevens charging after it. Did really well. Got the handball away to Burley. Now the Jets are off to the races. The kick goes up towards the Osborne direction. It was nicely knocked away that time by Milizovic. Osborne was equal to the task. Got the handball back. It was smothered by Smith from the Saints, who kicked it up towards the wing position. The game's become alive now. Out there was Withers. Handball back to Smith, who barged his way through. He threw it away. The umpire said play on. Kidd picked it up. Got the handball back to Withers. This way, that way. Scrambles a kick inside forward 50. Garner! I tell you what, this guy is playing a sensational game today, and don't give it off, Damien. You're on fire, son. And he'll go back and have a ping from just inside the 50.
Damien, you're a Premier Division forward. You're supposed to come down to this level and kick goals, mate.
Beautiful kick of the football.
And I'm sure he heard that advice and went, no worries, Brash. Here I come. So, you see, he's a direct approach. I love the way he comes in. It's old school style, kicking for goal. Kicks under it, goes goalward. It's sitting up. Well, it have enough carry. It did in the end, but it went right. And that's what we're calling it. No, absolutely. One behind, 16 and a half minutes tick over. The margin is 11 points.
So could have done with that one, but they're still close enough if they're good enough, South Belgrave. And you can see Heathmont they're almost gone into their shell. They just look like they just want to try and play this game out, and it's not the way to go, as we've seen. Beautiful mark taken over there by Robertson. He's come into the game nicely. Robertson.
Kick it to Garner.
Give it to Garner. It goes into the pocket. Where is the big torment? Over the top it goes.
Ambrose.
And what have we got? Mark taken over there by Ambrose. Saving Mark.
I agree with you, BWS. He's been really good, this guy.
He's been solid all day as he goes long, trying to find a teammate. Up they fly. Great fly there. It was a huge jump by Osborne, but he just couldn't come down with the ball.
Boundary.
But it's a free kick as we go. Boundary side with Matt Fodio.
Yeah, South Belgrave officially 2 down on the bench. Elliot Trigart, he's got ice around that right glute. He's done for the day.
So
he loves saying glute.
Margin is close enough. It's still only a 2-goal game. So Heathmont, they go down the line. Not a great kick though. That would be a great kick because Finn Brown comes over the top.
Great mark.
It looked like a kick to pretty much nobody, but Brown made it look better than it was, and he goes into it now. Finds a target in Merritt. Merritt goes a wobbly old kick inside 50. Oh, is that holding the ball? Yes, it is. Good tackle, and the tackler is rewarded. It was Walls who made the tackle. Now he goes out wide. But beautifully coming through there, and Heathmont have won it again. They've turned it over. Now it's Hansen. Hansen goes for a couple of bounces. They go inside 50. This time can they hit the target? Getting a punch away there was a Belgrave player towards the boundary line. It's still in over there. And the handball back is the next
Michael
Smith. Terrible kick. He's put it straight over the fence. And we'll have a free kick to Heathmont, and the pressure continues.
You almost sense that Heathmont, Ryan, need another goal.
They do.
It had just gone over the line before Smith got boot to ball, so he'll take that one. And it'll be a boundary throw-in, 55 metres out from the Heathmont goals. They can scramble one here. All of a sudden, the momentum can swing. So it comes in now, brought to ground. That time was Liam Kidd. Pye said, we'll ball it up. See, Evans just picks up his teammate there in Haynes, basically with with one arm. Pye throws it up now. Evans, good knock that time. Kidd again, trying to break his way through. Brought to ground. Let's do it all again.
They've got to make something of this inside 50 here, Heathmont.
It's also handy to keep the ball forward of centre for them as well, which is what they're doing. Evans got it down. Quick kick by Merritt. Merritt to the top of the goal square. How's this one going to go? Who's at the fall of the ball? Wallace, he's kicked a couple. He's quickly wrapped up, and we'll have a ball up, 20 out.
Around the grounds, Bronia lead 94-92, 24 minutes gone. Taylor Leggett has kicked 6 goals in the second half.
Wowza, great update there. Robertson, big fly. Little fresh air shot almost by Wallace. Osborne came through, goes after it again. Hudson for the Saints, letting the ball go anywhere. They've inched closer. It's about, we'll call it 7 metres out from the Heathmont goal line. Bargeron off. He was in there. Can anyone get toe poked to ball? No, they can't. It's rushed through for one behind.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side to Matt.
Yeah, around the grounds in Division 4. Coldstream up by 108 points over Churnside. Sylvan are going to win. They're up by 53 points over Forest Hill. Croydon North lead by 22 over Kilsyth, and Surrey Park lead by 57 over Nuttawading.
Oh, well, Odermatt from the kick in. He knows how to play it smart, and he won the free kick in the middle of the ground. The margin is back out here to 12 points. What can they do, the Saints? He's looking to go forward. He generally likes to roost it, so he's going to kick it in towards the Garner direction, and it's a nice not a silly kick in all direction either.
Boundary.
But it didn't hit the target. The mark's been taken by Van Leeuwen. Got the handball away to Ambrose. We'll go boundary side shortly as the kick goes up towards the wing position, but the mark has been taken out there by Robert Hudson, who is just loading up now. He'll kick it in towards the middle of the ground. They need also a little bit of luck here. Just waiting for it in the end is not helpful. Molino was in the middle, scooped upon there by Castledine, brought to ground. Let's go boundary side to Matt.
Yeah, Whitehorse Pioneers lead by 17 points over Scoresby. Look like they might be saving their place in Division 3 with this win.
See, is this a crucial inside 50 or not coming up for either side here?
Well, the umpire's brought the ball right into the middle of the centre square here. He didn't want to do it on the other patch, so a little fresh air shot by Walls went nowhere. Fresh air shot by Brown was a good one and kicked it up towards the wing position. Bouncing football. Burley had some space. He just needs it to sit nicely for him. Chip kick over the top. That was good play. They need to keep the ball moving. They don't want the South Belgrave players to be able to get back and into position here. The kick goes forward. It goes towards the Barjamoff direction. Big fly over the side there by Robertson, who takes the mark, but Barjamoff, he was worked out of it, and the umpire's seen it, and the big man will go back and have a ping from 45 out. It's a difficult wherever you have a shot for at this side of the this end of the ground today. It's been difficult, but if you wanted it in the hands of one person, it is certainly this man.
He kicks this all.
Even a score would put it to a 3-goal game.
So Barjamoff comes in now. Goes goalward, and it is a good looking kick. He loved it the moment it left his boot, Barjamoff. And look at the boys get around him, the home side get the breathing space they were after, and it might just be enough to 22 and a half minutes tick over in the final term on EFNL game day, and it's the Heathmont Jets by 18.
Well, they scrambled and scraped around for that inside 50 there for the last 5 minutes, and they finally get a break, Heathmont, and they've kicked that goal just when you needed a goal, just heading into time on.
So 23 minutes gone in this final term, and is that the nail on the coffin? It's been a ding-dong struggle all day.
They need a quick answer.
18-point margin now as the ball goes up again. One out of the middle by Heathmont. It was Evans who got the tap. Now they go forward. Another goal here would be a real coach killer, but it's taken nicely there at the back by South Belgrave, and they've just got to go. They've just got to absolutely gun everything now as they try and get a quick goal here. Forbes it is. In fact, not Forbes, it is Brown. Goes in board, trying to find a target. Ball bouncing around, nothing clean. Going in after it was Haynes, did well, got it out.
Great chase.
Great contest. You can see the desperation from South Belgrave. It's in the hands of Kidd. Kidd goes forward, can't hit a target. Ball on the ground, and that'll be a ball up. Young on the ground doing his best impression of, I'm not sure he was doing an impression of. So up it goes, head out towards the boundary line, and it runs across. So this is all good from a Heathmont point of view.
The last 2 or 3 minutes, South Belgrave going into their inside 50 has been sloppy. Odermatt missed hitting a target, and they're just starting to miss those targets when they really need to nail them now.
So times like those is why we need to get a microphone on Lee Green.
There's the ball back in. Up they get. South Belgrave win the hit out, but they won't do them any good unless they can win the clearance. And it's fallen for Heathmont, and they can go forward again here, just going across the ground as they have for much of this quarter. Here's a little kick out. Burley now goes out wide, kicking to a 2-on-1, but it goes over the top, and it'll work out for them actually. Little handball off, and here they come with Hansen. Hansen just got River in the nick of time in the hands now of Silver. Gets a little ball out there to Walls. Walls goes forward. This has got to be a mark, and it is. Round about half forward in the hands there of Carroll. Carroll goes forward now, but that's a terrible kick. Straight to Quirk, and they were building their South Belgrave, but it just all broke down for them, and Heathmont now with the football.
Great call, Bastow. Ambrose takes the mark. Solid as a rock. Hasn't Burley played some sort of a game as well today? Fantastic as he pokes it over the top now, looking for Isaacs. Who takes his time and then kicks an inside-out mongrel punt, which goes down the wing, and the umpire has paid a free kick going the way of the Saints. And Robertson just to get the ball moving on. And once again, they're not copying any back chat, and it doesn't matter anyway because the siren has sounded to announce a victory, and what a big victory this one is too to the home side today. The Heathmont Jets are victorious over South Belgrave by 3 goals, 11-7-73 to 8-7-55. A fantastic performance by the home side today, Wayne Brasher.
It was a great contest. It's almost a bit of an anti-climax because I was looking for another 2 or 3 minutes there.
It's crossed down boundary side to Jared Beanland.
And with the winning coach, Nick Rutley for the Heathmont Jets. Nick, how are you feeling about that one?
Good to get a scalp. I mean, they're a really good footy team. Lukey and Gibbo are doing a great job with these boys. Obviously, Tim going down early hurts them. They're going to change a few things. I thought Michael Smith was enormous. They're a good team. Garner obviously nearly tied him over the line on his own. So we still got a lot to work on, and so do they. They're a bit banged up today. They'll get some boys back and play finals later in the year. They're still going to be a threat. I still think they're the team to beat. They definitely proved that to us today. But to our guys, I just loved the way we kept fighting it out. There was a period there in the second quarter where I thought South Belgrave really got on top and could have ran away with it even further. But we managed to peg it back, and we were either a point down or up at half-time. So that was the difference. I think the maturity in answering, I guess, South Belgrave really coming at us in that second part of the second quarter was a real testament to our boys. So really proud of them. Hopefully, COVID-free, we get the rest of the season going.
What aspect of the game from your guys were you most proud of?
Just the way we fought it out in regards to our layers. I thought, especially in the first half, we probably hunted a little bit too often than what I liked. Was prefer to have a one guy go to a 2 or 3, to be honest, and make sure our delay layer was a lot more structured, which gave us more shape behind the footy. I thought when we got that right and then didn't go back to where the ball come from and shape the footy and use our angles, that's what won us the footy match. So really proud. They're just so coachable, these boys. They've had a lot of good times together, obviously, and we've had a pretty full-on week or two with the passing of Steve and celebrating his life, and he impacted a lot of people around the footy club. So there's been a lot going on, lockdowns, dealing with all that personally. Like, these boys have been awesome, and the support they get around the football club is equal to that too. So just a really proud coach at the moment, mate.
Thanks very much, Nick.
Thanks for your time.
Great stuff, and Jeezy represents the footy club well, Nick Rutley, and a really proud day for them today to support one of their fallen soldiers and great people from around the club. So it's been a great effort by the whole football club to be able to get up today, especially in the tough times that we've all been living with. And yeah, they'll take a lot out of this, and that's a real confidence booster for this football club heading into the last final few matches of the year, and of course a finals berth that really does beckon.
Well, just in the context of their season, that's their 9th win, so that keeps them 2 wins above 4th and 5th, so you're just about lock in finals for them. I don't think they can really drop out now, and it is quite impressive. I thought at times they looked on the back foot against South Belgrave, especially in that second quarter, and they fought through it, and their backline held up really well against a side that's been very focused on their forward line. To keep them to just 8 goals is really impressive.
I think it's great, a victory in self-belief for the younger brigade in this side. The amount of confidence that they're going to derive from winning a game like this is going to set them in great stead.
Yep.
Because it was finals type atmosphere in that last quarter, and the young blokes stood up.
Well, I think that's what you'd have to be if you're looking at the replay and training on Tuesday. You look at that last quarter, the fact that they were able to hold on and be able to score themselves rather than because South Belgrave were really pushing them. They got that within 2 goals, and it looked like they were going to keep going. It looked like Heathmont were almost dead on their feet, and to see him improve was great.
Well, let's cross down boundary side to Matt Fodia.
Yeah, so Baronia have won. So Baronia will go equal. Baronia will go equal with South Belgrave on points. South Belgrave's percentage is pretty superior to everyone in the comp, so they'll still be in 4th. Baronia have Ringwood next week, so if they win that, they're still in the hunt. South Belgrave, I think, have Mulgrave and Templestowe to finish the year. So I still think South Belgrave is safe, but the pressure's on them now. And the other result is Eastbuild have knocked off Warrandyte. So Warrandyte's 2nd loss for the year means Eastbuild will probably move into open 2nd spot, and Spider will be very happy.
And half an hour of the show tomorrow.
Well, luckily there's only 3 divisions, so we can give him an hour to talk about that win. But yeah, so it looks like Eastbuild should be safe as well. So we've got 2 locked away, I think, in Div 3, and we've probably got 3 spots locked away in this division, just 1 up for grabs.
Very good, very good. And so you just had the South Belgrave players walk off beside you down there, Matt. What was your take on their exit?
I don't think they're too disappointed. With two players out, Odermatt wasn't right the whole day. He was doing run-throughs, fitness tests at half-time out on the back oval. He didn't have his usual impact. And besides Garner, as you said, Ryan, their forward line wasn't as potent as we thought it would be. The midfields were pretty evenly matched outside of the first quarter. And I think that's where the game was won at either end, and that's where Heathmont won it with Van Leeuwen and Murphy Ambrose in defence. And then when Finn Brown and Badramov were able to combine up forward, and South Belgrave had two of their best talls on the bench, and then only Garner really stood up across the four quarters. So I think they understand they were beaten at either end of the ground, and I don't think they'll be too worried given their run home and given their tendency to absolutely belt teams up the mountain. So Luke Elliott seemed pretty calm and composed at three-quarter time. It wasn't season on the line sort of stuff. I thought he was quite composed. If in terms of my 3-2-1, because I can see you're all shaping up to do that. Besto's got his clipboard out. He only gets it out for one reason. So my one is the Damien Garner. He would have got three if they got him across the line there. He looked magnificent. I think South Belgrave have buried the lead a bit by having Tim Smith as their key signing, because everyone's forgotten that they've got Damien Garner down there, who's, as you guys mentioned, a Premier Division VFL forward, so he's an absolute star. Badramov too, he was lightning in that second quarter, and then at the end there probably missed a couple of opportunities and didn't quite make the most of him early on. My 3 votes go to Wade Van Leeuwen. I thought he was really good intercepting, but also providing run off half back. Heathmont look pretty poor when they don't move the ball quickly, and every time he got it he took some space, ran at the opposition and gained some metres. So that's my 3-2-1.
Very good. How about you? Special comments, boys?
3 to Ambrose. I thought he was sensational off that half-back line all afternoon. 2 to Barsmarov. And I'm going to give my 1 vote to Liam Kidd, South Belgrave. I thought he tried hard all day, just ran out of petrol tickets, but he was right in amongst it.
Yeah, I had the same 3, just in different order. Kidd for 1 vote, Ambrose for the 2 votes, and Badramov for the 3 votes. I thought he was most crucial in that second quarter when they were really on the back foot. It looked like it was starting to get out of control for him, and to steady the ship and kick a few goals. And I think it showed that South Belgrave's defenders were quite worried about where he was on the ground, and they gave away a few free kicks down both ends. So I thought he was fantastic today.
Besto?
I gave 1 vote to Ryan Burley. I thought he came into the game really well in that second half. He's so influential out of the middle, and he played superbly. A fantastic game from him. Badramov, of course, he played a fantastic game, got on the lead, kicked those goals, absolutely superb. But my 3 votes, I agree with Matty. I've given them to Van Leeuwen. I thought he was absolutely sensational all day down back, and a big key to the win today.
I gave 1 vote today to Liam Kidd, and if they had it got up, I'm sure he would have probably got more. I gave 2 to Van Leeuwen, and I gave 3 to Murphy Ambrose down back as well. So,
is anyone doing the maths?
I've got it up here, and if it doesn't add up properly, we'll just give it to the one I gave 3 to. We got to go down to the man who's riding shotgun with
3-2-1 for you, Jared.
I reckon I've got Garner with 1, Ambrose as 2, and I'm with you on Van Leeuwen being the best on ground today.
I reckon we might have swung it there.
You haven't swung it. The fact that Murphy Ambrose got 2 votes from Jared means that Murphy Ambrose is the best on ground today, and hopefully we get to have a chat with him shortly, Matt, and the prize this afternoon.
He's absolutely going to get the Nina and Pasadena Neverland Store Eastland gift voucher, and more importantly probably is the Tone Brothers goal of the day. Have we got any contenders up there, gents?
Ooh.
There were a few goals kicked. There's got to be one of them that was pretty good. Getting dead air here.
No, Brash was talking, but his microphone wasn't on. Try again, Brash.
He's too busy eating. Every time you showed him, he's got lollies.
Oh my God! No, I've got one in mind. I'm just trying to think.
If you describe it, I should be able to tell you the player.
I'm trying to think of the one that was on the left down here. I think it was kicked by South Belgrave in the
first quarter.
Yeah.
That was by Brodie Connolly.
Brodie Connolly. That's my vote anyway.
There you go.
That's worth. Yep.
We've got no other entrants, so it might be like Brisbane's Olympic bid here.
but in saying that, you could also say that Damien Garner's kicking for goal all day was absolutely sensational as well. But that's not what the award's for.
Well, I was about to say Finn Brown's goal in the last quarter to start the proceedings. I thought that was quite nice, quite composed. He loves going the check side from directly in front, which is interesting. But That's kids.
You're the boss, so it's your call.
Your call today.
Given that the Heathmont rooms are already open, we might give it to Finn Brown. And Luke Elliott scares me a little. So. And speaking of blokes that scared me a little, Murphy Ambrose has just come along. Chuck the headphones on, mate, so you can hear the people up there on the balcony, mate. First of all, great performance by yourself, but also well done to the boys for getting rid of those last quarter nerves and coming through in the end.
Yeah, I know. I noticed I actually ran up to Gasser at 3/4 time and said, mate, this is the same position we were in at, in round 2. And he goes, we don't tell anyone. We don't tell anyone about that. We just keep sticking to what we're doing. The group's coming together really well. They're a young group, really promising group, good footballers, and yeah, we're excited for the next month.
In terms of coming up against South Belgrave, their forward line's well noted, and obviously Tim Smith going down helps. But how do you guys plan and work together to keep them pretty quiet other than Ghana?
Yeah, we sort of got a really tight-knit group down back. So we got 7 of us who I came back into the back line today, but we're a really tight-knit group. We stick together. We work out our matchups even during the quarters. We swap and change. No one sort of gets locked down on one, and that's where you're going, even if they kick 2 or 3 on you. So Big Isaac's down there. He's doing really well. He's come back after a stint in the 2s, and he's performing well. And obviously Smith went down, which helps. But yeah, I thought we stuck to our guns really well, and they were coming in that last quarter, but we managed to keep them off, which was good.
And then did Ruts mention it after the game that there was a similar situation, and this time you guys were able to pull through?
Yeah, so post game he brought it up, but it was just a great performance from the boys, and yeah, like I said, this next month is huge for us. So all the other teams in the top 4 are looking forward to it. It's a sudden death comp, and it's a little tournament for us, so we're excited.
Over to you boys upstairs.
Yeah, Murphy, it's Brash here. You've got to be really impressed with the maturity that the young group have shown this season. It seems like that those first and second year players that are now in the side are really starting to know that they belong, and the fact that they understand what they have to do when the things get tight.
Yeah, it's funny. 2 years ago when myself and Declare and Brent English and Abruzzi, and we're all down here playing footy, and there was a real gap in between the oldest and the youngest, and they sort of they were really quiet and held back. But a year off, they didn't play together last year, and then they come back, and to be honest, I didn't come back till about round 5, so I got sucked back in out of retirement and I've come back. But it's like they've just gone through the roof. So it's really exciting. The Burley brothers, they come and playing together. Hainsey, Cam Evans, I can list a lot of blokes who have really taken that under their wing, taken the challenge on. And and us older heads, we don't have to do as much now, so we can actually play footy, which is nice.
And it's been a big day for the football club as well, and it's been a big week and a great send-off as well. You boys have been able to do out here on the park, and not to mention that this would normally be cystic fibrosis round down here at the football club as well, which probably hasn't been the fundraiser that the club has wanted, but nonetheless, it's a really good feeling about the club, about how you all get around each other and the support that you give and your community down here, which is fantastic. A special day, really. Must have meant a lot, and I'm sure it got a mention in the rooms as well.
Yeah, it did. We had Justin come and spoke to us before the game about Steve, and that was so sad. We were all at training on the Thursday. We stayed back late because we knew COVID was coming. That was the last night we could get together. And then on the Saturday morning we heard that he'd passed away, and it just puts everything into perspective. Same with the cystic fibrosis stuff, any disability and things like that. I've got a young boy now. Footy, I used to turn up, I wanted to, kill everyone, and I want to win footy and do this and that, but, now it's become more of a club thing for me. Coming back here, now they welcome the families, they welcome all the members, people from, interstate who have moved to Melbourne, and it's just a great vibe down here, and these new club rooms have really, they've made a huge difference to this footy club, and it's very exciting going forward because as we progress through the divisions and become a powerhouse wherever we end up, it's very exciting. We've got the facilities and we've got the people around, so it's awesome.
If everybody plays their part in the victory, but today you're sensational, mate. Congratulations. Go back in and lap it up with the boys, and let those other retiree mates of yours, let them know how good these days are when you're on the park and you get a victory.
Yeah, I appreciate it, boys. Thank you very much.
Great stuff there to Murphy Ambrose. Best on ground today, and the Nina and Pasadena voucher coming his way from Eastland. We'll have another one. Let's try and get Brett Davidson maybe even and get him back on the airwaves, one of our old foes out here. And there's some really smiling faces, and when times are tough and you hear those sad stories, Brash, come through about people who are really important to your footy club, it's just great when you can lift that extra peg and get the points home, and it means a lot to the family and everybody involved.
certainly does.
You're got to turn yourself on, Brash, I think.
Boundary?
Well, let's go down boundary side to Jared.
Yeah, I knew Steve Crichton quite well. He was probably the first bloke that I ever kicked a footy with. He was my coach for about 3 years in juniors when I played for Heathmont. And he was always such a funny bloke. He always lit up a room when he walked into it. And no doubt he'll be sorely missed.
I think you'll find, Jared, that guys of the ilk of Steve Crichton have done such a lot for not only their local side, but community football in general. They're the guys that you really do pay homage to, because in those dark days, each club has their own dark days. You need people that are around just to keep the club ticking over, BWE.
You certainly do, and we talked to Nick Rutley a few times today, but let's face it, the real mastermind behind a victory today is the man we're going to chat to down boundary side, one of our very good friends on the EFNL media team, Brett Davidson. Welcome, Davo. It's been a big day for the club, and you must be pretty proud to be part of something like this when the boys can walk off and knock off a very good side in South Belgrave.
Yeah, hello boys, how are we? I hope I didn't get to hear the call, but I'm sure it was sensational. Look, really pleased to come away. It was we played them in round 2, and we were 20 points up at 3/4 time, and they ran all over us, and it was probably one of the best quarters of footy I've seen for a long time, played by South Belgrave. So today we knew it was a real test for us, and I thought it was a pretty scrappy affair, to be quite honest, but we managed to kick the goals when we needed it. We managed to press the game when we wanted it to be pressed, and when we got the ball on the ground in the forward line, our ability to kick those goals from loose ball gets and whatever was pretty good, I thought.
David, talk to us about Bezramov. I mean, he was absolutely sensational. He kicked those 3 goals in pretty quick time. He's a young forward. He's obviously very good on the lead, and he really looked good out there today.
Yes, Brett. He His marking is superb. He's actually a really good flyer as well, but we've been trying to get him to lead up and hit him lace out a little bit more, and we did that a few times today, but probably the one area we've got to get better at is he's taking his marks about 40 to 45 out, which is a little bit too far out for us. We had a lot of shallow entries inside our forward 50 today, so we need to get him to mark him a little bit deeper, and if we can do that, he's generally a really good kick. So, if he'd been a bit closer, he could have kicked 5 or 6 today, I reckon.
Yeah, it seems that way. How close is the team to full strength heading into these last few games and then finals, Davo?
Yeah, we had 2 or 3 players that came through the reserves, played some reserves footy that have been playing predominantly in the ones. So we're fairly strong at the moment. Trey Brown should be back playing probably in the 2s next week, and we lose Jake Sheriff today from concussion, so he'll miss next week definitely. But otherwise, we're pretty good. We're reasonably well settled.
Might be a hard side to get into the way you played today.
Yeah, look, and that's what we want. You head into the final series. We know that we've got, we're one of 5 that have got that opportunity to play finals. You need to match up well against all of them. We've managed to break even with everyone except for the Basin. I think we play them in the last round of the year, so that'll be a really good test for us as well.
Awesome. Well, outside of your duties, those dulcet tones of yours, we hope will be rejoining us throughout the final series.
Look, if there's lunch or lollies provided, I'll be there.
It's unheard of. Every week we have extra lollies still up here these days, but I don't know what that reason's for.
When you've seen how tight my jacket is at the moment, you can understand exactly why. What happened.
You're looking good, mate. All the best, and great win today.
Thank you very much. Thanks, boys.
On you, Davo.
Thank you very much to Brett Davidson. We're very close to wrapping things up here, and it's been a great day out here at H.E. Parker Reserve, the hangar, and it's the place to be in the eastern suburbs if you're a junior and you're coming through and playing sport, whether male or female. But let's wrap things up here, shall we? And of course, down boundary side today, we had the EFNL media manager and Jared Beanland, and they were fantastic as well. And hope you enjoyed yourself out there today, Jared.
Yeah, it was pretty perfect. Brilliant weather. Great to see Heathmont get the win, of course. I was very happy to see that. I try not to be biased, of course, but with the passing of Steve Crichton and this being my old club, my old home ground, great to see the new clubhouses and everything like that. I was pretty happy with it.
Fantastic. What position did you play?
I was utility. Generally halfback.
Utility?
Yeah, I know. It's an old one. But yeah, halfback, half forward. Sometimes on the wing if I was fit enough.
What about the bench?
Yeah, the bench. That saw a lot of play, to be honest. I was pretty good at that one.
Special comments, guys. Perfect vantage point, Ryan. Enjoyed yourself today and a great debut in special comments. Fantastic stuff, mate.
Thank you, BWS. Yeah, and another good game. Finals preview. These two could be meeting up in a final. If South Belgrave finished third, I reckon Heathmont have got that second spot almost locked up. So should be interesting.
And Wayne Brasher, of course, nothing beats being back at the footy on a Saturday next to you, my friend.
Yeah, no, I love it. Love every single minute of it. It's great to see community football, just community sport, back up and running.
And of course, riding shotgun was Brett Beston today in the co-commentator's chair, and we really enjoyed ourselves, didn't we, Besto?
As a super game, I just wanted to echo your thoughts on Ryan too. I thought he did a super job today, but great game, and all goes well now for the rest of the season, hopefully.
Thanks very much to Leroy Green from LKLM Media, the best in the business, and of course my mate Giggles, Bruce Press from the Loft Productions, making sure everything goes swimmingly here. It's been a fun afternoon out at the hangar. We hope we can all get back to the football and the crowds can come flocking back in from next week, but we'll have to wait till Mr. Andrews tells us we can do so. Tomorrow morning there'll be EFNL Sunday, and won't Spider be up and about for that one? We hope your team won this afternoon. If they didn't, there's always next week. The most important thing is footy's back and we love it. This is EFNL Football Game Day, signing off.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on